I feel special now. You ready? What? Are you ready, Harden?
I'm ready.
You ready? All right. Good morning, everybody. Mike Benarski, John Harden, Rich Wasilick on the camera. We are live here at Griswold High School on location. We haven't done this in a couple of years. You weren't with us last time. I think it's about 3 years since we've been here.
You got
it. Well, as far as coming here, we've only been here once before. As far as doing this type of broadcast, we did one. What was pretty much, I think we were in front of the auditorium last time. Yeah, it was a career day. It was career day. So, huh? Dane?
Dane, yeah.
He's driving truck.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen him?
I have.
He's a monster.
I've seen all of them.
Holy moly! I thought I was big.
That's a big man.
He's a big boy, and he is strong.
Still
as
playing
an
football
ox.
too, right? He didn't he?
Yeah,
He posted on Facebook that he got on a local team.
Yes, with Corey Carr.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah,
And he held up like a number 21 or something.
They
I'm
started it.
Like, there's no way you're wearing number 21, son. Multiply that times three.
Three.
Maybe you're wearing that one, but no.
They started it. They
Yep.
started this in the semi-pro league or whatever.
That's cool.
Awesome.
So he's been wanting to do this for a while, and he didn't want to play out in Manchester anymore. He wanted to play something a little more local. So
Cool.
here we are.
Awesome.
I have to catch game.
All right, so we have the Griswold High School principal with us right now. We have a whole bunch of folks that will come in today and chat, and we're also going to actually kind of take a tour of the school, and we'll be going split screen for some of that in a little bit. So, but right now we're going to talk first to the Griswold High School principal, Aaron Polonin, and is it the drama director, the music and
I don't know.
right?
Whatever. I'm here.
It's
fill in the blank.
That's it.
Give me another level there, John.
You got me?
I think so too.
No, I don't hear myself though.
You don't?
No. There we go.
You're really
Hold
low.
on, echoing.
You're really low.
I'm in a cave.
They sound great.
You got that caverner's voice going over there, John.
Thank
That's
Did you announce a game for the football season?
I did. I actually did the homecoming game, the basket game.
You're the one then. I'm sitting there on the sidelines going, man, does that guy have pipes? Those are awesome.
He does. He's something else.
I feel I'm going to have to crank it down a little bit for this interview. I feel a little insignificant. I have to try to sound like this, but that's natural for John. Man, you got a phone book for me to sit on or something?
He's a big boy for crying out loud.
Yes,
So, Aaron, how many you've been here? I remember when you got the job. I remember your mother calling me and saying, "Guess who got the job?"
Oh boy.
And I guessed wrong.
I didn't know that happened. So
Yeah.
thank you, Mike.
Yeah, I guessed wrong. So I did.
I didn't ever think it was you. Awesome.
No, I didn't.
No.
I didn't. I had no guess. I said, "Who?"
Yeah.
And she goes, "Aaron." I'm like,
Oh.
"What?"
Yeah.
So anyway, how many
6
years?
years?
It's been 6 years.
Yes. 6 years.
How do you feel 6 years later?
Like it hasn't been 6 years. It's
Mm.
flown. It's gone by really, really quickly. But I still just am in basking in it all and loving every minute. So most of the minutes, yes.
Most of the minutes.
Yes. Yes.
What has changed? I mean, if you could say a couple of like 2 bullet points that are very, very positive from when you started till now.
Yeah, I mean, a lot has changed, right? So
Sure, absolutely. Been through a pandemic.
the pandemic shook us all a little bit, but I think our ability to come together and work together through some of the hardest times that hopefully we'd ever face in education has been something that's just astonished me. And the fact that I feel like we're here and we're climbing up again, and the students are the best ever, and just our ability to work together as a team. We've grown, I think, a tremendous amount in 6 years, from where we started to where we are. And I feel like we're just on the upswing from there. So very, very lucky here in Griswold for sure.
How about you, Ray? It's
So,
been
Michael,
you've been here how many years at Griswold High School now within the public schools?
28. This is 28.
28?
20 old.
20 old.
I'm 16 total. So
16 total.
And
And
I
you
was
started
a
off-
student of his.
You-
So I was a chamber choir member.
Section
Yes.
leader, right?
Section leader.
Alto section leader in chamber choir many moons ago.
Many moons ago.
Brenda Fryer says best principal ever.
Brenda
So there you
Fryer.
go.
Shout out to the Fryers. Amazing, supportive family.
You know, we do a feature with the Fryers.
They're
Well, Scott, we do a feature. We say something that's either Scott Fryer or air fryer. Which one does it get a, so like let me ask you a question. All right. I would say beer bread.
okay.
BREAD, not BRED.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would that be air fryer or Scott fryer?
Wait.
Are those
Beer
two
bread.
different things, or one beer bread,
Scott
or is
Fryer.
it beer, comma, bread?
Beer bread.
Because that
Yeah,
changes
just
the
one
answer.
Scott Fryer.
Okay, you say Scott fryer.
Beer bread.
Is it air fryer or Scott
I'm
fryer?
gonna go Scott Fryer on that one.
You're gonna go Scott fryer.
Yep.
See, you're both wrong.
Well,
And the reason is because
punctuation was not clear.
no. You can make beer bread in an air fryer.
Can you now?
You can't make beer bread in a Scott fryer.
I got it.
So there you go.
No, I
It's
get
a
it now.
Dumb game.
I
but we
no,
do
I like
every
it. No,
Thursday.
I like dumb games.
Don't worry.
I can keep up with them.
I'm 0-2.
Yeah, John's having a rough time with it. So you've been here 20 some years,
28.
20
Yep,
years.
this is the end of 28.
and Erin was one of your pupils.
She was awesome.
So how does that work? You know, I mean, how does that? I mean, that must make you feel good to have one of your previous students come in and now become the principal of the school.
Absolutely. It's been I mean, it makes me feel awesome because she was a home run hitter when she was here as a student, and she and I had a very good, very close relationship through her 4 years in chamber choir, and now the dynamic has obviously changed now that the relationship has changed. Now it's boss and employee. So it's
She says no.
well,
He calls me boss lady, and he knows that it makes me eye roll. But yes.
no, the affection has not changed.
Correct.
Right.
The day-to-day dealings have changed. So she has to put up with me in a lot of different ways that she never had to as a student. So I feel sorry for her, but the underlying feelings are still there and will be forever. So
The comments are still rolling in for you, Aaron. Billy Kane says the most supportive principal in the ECC. So,
Billy Kane.
Yep.
I am so excited to have him in the capacity of the baseball coach. I think it's I know it's going to
Yeah.
take that program to just a level we haven't seen. It's going to be amazing. Billy is so proactive. I am so impressed with how ahead of things he's trying to get in an effort to support our students just having a stellar experience. And so another Griswold grad as well, which makes me super proud. And we're really lucky to have him. I'm really looking forward to the spring season for sure.
Speaking of the spring,
Bring
something is going to happen.
Bring it.
Something that's going to happen
Finally.
this year. Finally, it
Finally.
hasn't happened. Ray, hit me one time. What
I'm
is
going to
going
hit you
on?
one time
Hit me,
because
baby.
Greece is the word, because we were off for 2 years.
Love it.
2 years ago, we had Joseph ready to go. Joseph, the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, up and ready to go. And then the state pulled the plug on us in March, as they did with everything else. So down the tubes that show went. We tried to rekindle it last year with the idea of doing it as a live stream, as opposed to having a live audience. And that held no appeal to the kids. They were like, no, I don't want to do that. And I can't blame them. I was just
It would have
trying.
been more difficult.
It would have been a lot less fun. I know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And but this year we got it. We we didn't have the cast to try Joseph again, which is fine. You always got to kind of pick your show as to what you know your kids can do. So Grease was happening. We haven't done Grease since '07. So it was time to do it again. I knew it was going to be a very popular title. Believe it or not, though, I announced Grease, Mike, and like the freshman and sophomore go, what is that? I'm like, you got to be kidding me. What's Grease? I'm like, really? Am I that old?
Grease is the word.
I mean, thank you. But you know, everybody's fired up for it now. And with the mask mandate now lifting, we don't have to wear them on stage, which is nice. And we'll also be able to have the ability to sell a full auditorium as well. Whereas when we started in January, we thought maybe we were going to just be selling pods, that's get whoever we can in the room. But you're talking over the course of a weekend about a $10,000 loss in ticket sales. And we got to make up for all that money we lost when Joseph didn't go up, you know, all the drama department money. But the kids are fired up. You realize how much 2 years off hurts a program, because the kids are wonderful. They're excited, they're intelligent, but they don't have a lot of experience. I mean, your seniors right now are basically functioning as sophomores because they lost 2 shows. And they weren't groomed by the student leadership ahead of them. And then here's their chance to shine as a senior in a leadership role, whether it's on stage, behind stage, wherever. Now it's like, last time you were on stage, you were a freshman. Now go run a show.
Right.
And that's not an easy thing to ask of kids. But I'm telling you, they've all pinned their ears back and they're all ready to go. I think everybody's a little bit green, but it's not going to be. They're going to catch up because they want to, because they know they're behind the 8 ball a little bit, and the gauntlet has been laid down, the challenge has been laid down to them, and they are definitely not ones to shy away from a challenge. So that's coming up 27th through 30th in April. Tickets are going to go on sale that Monday. It'll be all over griswolddrama.com. I forget the date, but that Monday around St. Patty's Day, everything's going to be sold online, which is going to be convenient, really awesome for everybody. And then we're going to run for 27 through 30. And I don't think anybody's in the community is going to notice a difference. I don't think there's going to be a hiccup, skipping the record, nothing. I think it's just going to be another Griswold drama production, and giddy up, baby.
They're amazing every year.
Oh, thank you.
Every year.
That's the work ethic of the kids. I can promise you that. They take a lot of pride in what they do, and they allow me and the other directors to push them. And they understand that the product is going to be better because of it, and they love it, and they love it, and I love it, and I'm excited to be. I mean, just stepping on stage, and I know it sounds corny, but you're on stage with a bunch of kids, and they're all juiced up, and the energy's flowing, and you know you can smell the lumber for the set, you can smell the paint, you know, you can feel the excitement. It's like nothing. It's like nothing that I've ever had in my life anywhere else but on here. So. That's awesome.
Comment, Mr. C is awesome. All my boys love him, especially Noodles.
Noodles. That's Mike.
Michael Strain.
Yeah, Michael Strain. Yeah, he's playing. Pat, that's funny. Yeah, he's playing. He's playing the DJ Vince Fontaine. Yeah, he's
nice.
He is. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
And we'll slick his hair back. He's got that nice mat of, that's why I call him Noodles, because he's got that nice curly hair. It's beautiful. We'll slick back the sides, and we'll get him that DJ voice and rock and roll, boys and girls. Grab you. Yeah.
You had some.
Well, actually, I think you both have talked to it, you know, starting with Miss Bologna and then with you, Miss Churchill, is the students and how they've kind of bounced back, because really there's been a pause for 2 years in kind of their high school education, some of the experiences that normally you would be able to experience. Like, I think you hit the nail on the head saying that our seniors are functionally operating as sophomores with the loss of 2 years. But I think also the way you've spoken about the student body here at Griswold High School, to be able to bounce back and kind of take that work on board, put it on their back and carry it across the finish line.
Yep.
Do you see that across the student body? Because I know the drama department is one of those, you know, shining stars within the high school. It's spoken of outside of this building in town and then outside the community as a whole. So
I do. I think, you know, and it's certainly not isolated to Griswold. I think across the board, you know, it was a hard go at the start of the school year for everybody to get back to a routine and a schedule. We had a lot of deep discussions about it because it posed challenges, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean it as it is. And I think one of the things we talked about was we just have to keep that bar high. They need this structure. They need this routine. It's just getting used to it again, because every student's circumstance was so different during this pandemic, from students that were overwhelmed with support at home to students that didn't have that kind of support at home. And for no one reason. There's a lot of different, the dynamic of a family is individual for every single student. And so taking that into consideration and knowing that we were going to be that stability again, but it was going to take time and consistency, but we're going to keep that bar here because we know they can do it. And just over time, and sometimes very long, tough days, you start to see, that growth again. And so, yeah, I think across the board, we're feeling it, but on the brighter side of that is just that the kids are rising to that expectation, which is awesome. It's all that we can ask for.
Right. So you're seeing that they're, the programs that were available or are available to them here in the school, it's probably opening up. There was probably some that were, shelved, for lack of a better word, for a while.
Not too many, yeah.
Last
year there were. This year we've been pretty wide open.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's I've noticed the tide is starting to turn, and they're seniors who were around pre-COVID. I can speak for my programs and probably some of the sports. Seniors who were around pre-COVID, they kind of understood what life was like back there before, but they were only freshmen, right? They didn't have the expectations placed upon them that a senior or a junior would. In my programs, I've noticed that the seniors have bounced back more quickly because they saw the way it used to be. And for a while, a lot of think about what their life was for over a year. They would wake up and get motivated enough to turn on their laptop and sit up in bed and go to class, right? That was about it. They had no sports, they had no drama, they had no nothing. And what I've been seeing, and for the parents that might be listening right now, the kids that are involved in something outside of their daily classes, I've been seeing as the ones that are bouncing back more quickly. They got something else to get excited about getting out of bed for. You got to assume if they're involved in drama or music or a sport or the lab upstairs or anything extra around here, they're passionate about it. Yeah. So they got that little extra passion to get them out of bed. And they're also used to a different expectation of structure, right? If you're playing in a sport and you're moping around and not getting it done, your butt's going on the bench. Mm-hmm. And, there's no coddling. There's, all right, fine. You don't want to work hard, sit down, right? And if you're at a rehearsal or you're in a music rehearsal or drama rehearsal and you came to the audition and you moped around and you didn't do much, you're not going to reap any rewards from it. So they're getting that extra amount of reinforcement. So if you have a kid out there, if you're a parent with a kid out there, I always encourage them to do something else, do something that they're passionate about. There's so many clubs, there's so many sports, there's so many extracurricular academic groups. Do it. Get involved in the nexus with the gaming and
that's we're going to talk to Jim
so
Rand
cool.
about
Yeah,
that.
it's so cool. It's so cool. Wait to hear about that thing. It's pretty awesome. But there really is not one niche or that I don't think that we can here at Griswold that we can't offer something to.
Yeah.
And we like to cross
I'm
our
glad you
niches.
said that, because I think it's really, really important that, and we sing these praises when we do, broadcast sports, or we do, something in the morning. Rich and I talk about it. It's, just the importance of keeping kids here and letting them know exactly what Griswold has to offer them as far as an education is concerned and what is here for extracurricular activities.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And it's, stuff that you don't find,
right.
in a lot of different places in a nice small school.
Yeah.
And it's great, so.
Yeah. And just, as Mr. Churchill was talking about some of those, traditional extracurriculars and saying that there's something for everybody. Like what's resonating in my mind is the fact that we are a campus, right, is very unique to,
That's cool.
yeah, really cool.
I was just going to bring that up.
Yeah,
That's,
and we don't say it just to say it. Like we all do collaborate and work together regularly. Like to me, that's the norm. But working with other, knowing other principals in the state and just how it's not normal to, pick up the phone and chat with your middle school principal. It's like that's just the norm, and we're lucky with that. So partnerships that we're able to facilitate. So our Big and Little program is something that unfortunately went away with the pandemic, and we're back in full swing. So high school students supporting students at the elementary school and just being a positive role model to them. The Griswold Forward program, we have high school students that go over there from 3 to 6 and volunteer their time just helping out with the Griswold Forward program. And so there really is an opportunity for every student interest, and some of them are small, some of them are on a larger scale, like our spring musical that is renowned through the state. So I'm very proud of all of those things because we really are looking to support each individual student and get them involved.
Yeah.
you guys want to add because anything else? Because we have some other folks that we want to bring in. I know I'm glad we got to talk about the play.
Yeah, baby. I'll come down
So
and talk to you.
excited.
Yeah, I'll come down.
Absolutely.
I'm just
Bring
pumped.
some, you'll bring some of your
Yeah,
kiddos.
we'll do a little
It's
singing.
awesome.
Absolutely.
And we're rebuilding that program as well. You're going to see, instead of a cast of 80 that you used to see, you're going to see a cast of 40 this year. But they're really talented kids, and they won't be green for long, and they're going to put on a show for you. And that's end of April, 27 through the 30th. Tickets will go on sale at griswolddrama.com the Monday next to St. Patty's Day. I forget what it is. We're selling advertising for the program right now. So if you want to go to our website, you can find out how to do that. If you're a local business, we have a great crew of kids working on that. But we're just getting everybody used to going back to the way we're doing it. And when we tried to fit all the puzzle pieces into how we used to do it, they didn't all fit. So I didn't try to fit them.
Yeah.
I didn't try to take what we used to do and plug it into who we are now. We're adapting the program, and we're going to be successful with who we are now. And I'm always a proud papa standing in the back in that room watching those kids rip, but it's going to be worse this time. I don't know if I'll keep the tears in the eyes this time when I feel that sense of pride hit me when I watch them up there doing what they do. So
It's just passion.
that's all it
just
is,
passion
man.
right there,
Don't miss this one, kids.
Yeah. Well, and it's super special, and it speaks to I guess what we used to take for granted. Like who would have
You'll
ever
never
thought?
forget this
You
one. This
wouldn't-
one you will never forget.
Correct.
You'll never forget
Correct.
because this is the one that you're doing right after 2 years off because of a pandemic, and this is going to be incredible.
And such a high energy show, which I think is, I know we don't have a lot of time, but Mr. Churchill and Tri-M, his team, they facilitated a faculty talent show, right? And the energy in that room was palpable. People just want to be out.
Did you sing?
I didn't. It's a sore subject, but
She got cut.
You wouldn't cut her if you ever heard her sing. She got pipes.
So, but I was a big fan in the audience, and just the energy in that room, and it just speaks to people want to come out. They want to celebrate. They want to support one another. So I am so excited about Greece because it is so high energy. I think it's going to be, I think it's going to be one for the books for sure.
Well, Greece is the word.
Greece is the word.
Greece is the word.
We've nicknamed this. We've nicknamed the cast and crew. We've nicknamed this the Phoenix Show because we're going to rise.
Rise.
Yes.
Yes.
So
I got a big Phoenix right back here.
do you really?
I do, absolutely. Coming out of
I
the
got some
ashes.
extra skin. I might be able to get that. I'm getting more and more extra skin all the time, but I don't know.
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah. Ray, thank you very much.
Hey, appreciate
it.
Appreciate it.
Aaron,
Thanks
so much.
for
Good to see
being
you.
here
always a
at
pleasure.
GHS.
Always a pleasure.
We're so excited to have you guys here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Have
All
a
right.
great day.
Thank you. Thank you. Actually, just hand those off. Just hand them off to our next. Well, be careful there. To our next lovely contestants.
So we swapping.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because. Oh, bam! Oh,
Because I did speak to our next guest in the studio, so we'll let Rich have it.
Okay.
totally comfortable. So go ahead.
All right, we're back here at Griswold High School once again. Hello, everybody. Mike, now I'm being joined by Rich Wasilek. Can you hear me, Rich?
What's up?
There you go. There you go. From the newly formed Special Committee on Griswold Parks.
Oh yes, we're hitting a hard.
Which I thought was really, really cool that we had some participation by one of the Griswold administrators, the principal
From the middle
of
school?
the middle school,
Yes.
Mr. Louis Zubek, who was there. So it was really nice
Yeah, that'll
to
be
have.
important.
Yeah, it was very important. It was nice to see that he joined in and wanted to participate, which is
It's
excellent.
actually a trio. We got John
Huh?
in there, too.
Oh, then true, yeah,
Yeah.
because we're all three of us are on that board. So
Yeah, we got nothing else to do. So.
yeah, no. Well, you're on 2 boards. I'm on 3 boards. You're
That'd be my third one.
yeah. Oh, that's
So,
right. Yeah. All right, now we're going to be joined. You got your microphones on.
I do.
Yes, you
I've got
do.
This like gadget. Thing
Yep.
going.
Got the gadget going.
We are being joined by the superintendent of schools, Mr. Sean McKenna, and the Board of Education chairperson, Mary Beth Malin. So good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Thank you for
So,
coming out.
Thanks for
Guys, this is
inviting us,
awesome.
actually.
great.
Anytime.
So-
Love having you.
This is pretty good. So I've actually it's the third time I've been in this school, and this is a happy occasion to be here. So that's-
Uh-oh. Oh, boy.
Oh,
All right.
Well,
I
normally
don't
it's like
even-
an ambulance.
I don't even want to
Yeah.
know.
A sick kid or
yeah.
teacher or something.
Yeah. Now Sean, you've been here 6 years.
6 years.
6 years now.
years,
It does
yeah.
not seem like 6 years. I mean, yeah, we had a pandemic
Yeah.
right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And Mary Beth, how long have you been on the Board of Ed? It's
9 years.
9
and
years.
This is my third year as chair.
okay. So, how do you feel from an administration side to be almost clear somewhat of the pandemic or coming out of it?
I think more so than that. I think, we just did a presentation at Franklin Public Schools. This district is on the move. There are great things happening, as you saw with Ray Churchill and Aaron Polonin and our kids, and you're going to hear from Mr. Labasier, people that are far more interesting than I'll ever be. But this district is on the move with an assortment of things, whether it's athletics, whether it's academics. We have a new digital sign that's going out in front of the campus. We hope you can come out and cover that. World premiere sometime in the spring. We're going to be moving our alternative school downtown, so that's in the works.
You're going to the old ambulance building or
Griswold
Senior Center.
Griswold
Yep.
Senior Center. Our kids are amazing. You're going to hear from a few in a few minutes, whether it's in esports or on the stage with Churchill and company, or our student athletes really doing well. And it's not just Griswold forward a statement, it's a belief. And I just think that this district is on the move, and it starts with this Board of Ed, they are dedicated. They come out for meetings, sometimes, many times during the month, and give of their time. And Griswold moves forward. What can I say?
So, Mary Beth, many years now on the Board of Education, and you do a fine job. And,
Thank you.
How do you feel now coming out of the pandemic, and what do you think is next for Griswold Public Schools as far as the
Still
board is
moving.
concerned?
The board, we have a lot of work ahead of us. We have a lot of good things that are going to be presented to us. I was just talking to Mr. Labasier. They're going to bring forward some more classes here at the high school for board approval. We also have an ad hoc for our fields facility revitalization. So we have an RFP out to do to get approval to go back to the Board of Finance for a master plan of all of our athletic fields, starting with the football field and the track. So we're moving forward. It's a very dedicated board. There are many times I have to call special meetings, and When the message goes out, it's instantly they're saying, yes, I'll be there.
Mhm.
So they care about the district. They're interested in how we're doing. And it's a good board. We all bring something different to the table. It's many different types of people around the board, and they're all a great board. They were all seated again in the last election,
Mhm.
which I was extremely happy about.
Did you have a comment?
No, I said, what makes you guys want to do that? Be on the board and do all that work and spend all those endless nights.
like you don't have like right now you don't have any children that are actually in the Griswold public school
Right.
systems, right?
Right. My daughter lives in Griswold,
Right.
with her husband and little granddaughter, and there's another one on the way. And my son is in Atlanta. He and his girlfriend work on movie sets. So, but I firmly believe when they came through here, it was one of the best of times at the high school. And I feel that I need to give back. I still volunteer as co-chair of Ray Churchill's parent advisory group for the music department. In fact, with Greece, you'll see me here, probably with my granddaughter, the whole weekend working the concession stand and raising money for the music group. So I just feel like I have to give back. I enjoy it, and I want to make sure that kids in Griswold and our tuition towns coming in, that they have the best education possible here. And it is a good high school. It is, you will get a very good, well-rounded education.
One group I forgot to do a shout out, and I know Mrs. Strain was on, and we have great parents. So for instance, we have, I can't think of, conferences coming up in the next couple of days, and they plan dinners for our faculty and staff, and dedicated endless hours. So it's a nice sort of synergy in the community where everybody's playing their part and really well.
That's the parent-teacher organization?
Yeah, they're just different PTOs. There's a group here, there's a group at the middle school, and a group at the high school. And I know I'm on different emails. They've been organizing meals for the faculty and staff. This is dedication. This isn't, and in addition to raising families, working hard, and being just good citizens. So.
And when you talk about coming to Griswold as opposed to, as to going to another town, or what is it that you say, or what's the big message that you deliver to another town?
Everybody's going to know your name. You're not going to get lost in the crowd. And there is a niche for every single student here. And you're going to get personalized, individualized attention. We're going to take care of your overall well-being. And we're going to give you research-based instruction, no matter where you are on the learning curve. If you're a high-end kid, we were able, unlike a lot of high schools in the region, people don't know this, we got a student into Yale and a student into Brown last year. If you want to come here and prepare for the armed services, great. We know that we get kids into the armed services. If you want to come here and go into the youth manufacturing pipeline, we have kids that were here last year that now have well-paying jobs at Electric Boat. If you want to go to Three Rivers Community College, nothing wrong with that, or UConn, we're going to be here and support you. If you want to go into allied health, we have programs to help you get into that. So there's something for everybody.
Right. I always thought it was, listening to you talk, I'd hear about all these programs and stuff. I always thought it was the music program. That's the romantic thing, the sexy thing to hear about.
It is still the romantic thing, and it's sort of the glamorous thing, and the kids do a great job, and Ray is like.
But there's so much more to it than just.
Yeah, and he draws on kids' strengths. He has a way of doing that. Amazing teacher in the classroom, but I think that is sort of just one of the many modes of excellence.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that was the point I was trying to make, so it's not just the music program.
It's not just the music. There's so much more here for everybody.
And if people just take a look. Take a look. All right, Mr. McKenna.
And thank you for your support, guys.
No problem.
It's good to
Thank
see
you
you.
so much.
The NPR radio voice. See, it wasn't just me, Ray Churchill.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. So that is the superintendent of schools, Mr. Sean McKenna, as well as the Board of Education chairperson, Mary Beth Malin. So Rich, what do you think? I went here. I graduated in 1984.
Yeah, I didn't grow up here, so I don't have a connection like you do to the school, but it seems like a great place. It's very active. Seems like all the teachers and administration are very involved and excited about working with the kids. So it seems like a great school to go to.
Well, I went to Griswold, and matter of fact, this school wasn't built yet.
No,
just to give you an idea. Yeah, the middle school was my high school.
Okay.
Matter of fact, Mr. McKenna's office was my English
Really?
English teacher.
Excuse me, I blew a crown out.
So just so you know,
Um,
who's coming out? Glenn, are you coming in? Okay. All right. Great. You both on with the microphones?
Yep, I think so.
Okay, very good.
Should be.
All right. Yeah, because he's gonna roam, hopefully, with we're gonna try to send somebody with you to take a look at the esports area, but we're having a hard time getting a signal.
Okay.
So anyway, okay. Anyway, Jim, nice to meet you finally. We texted
Thank
back
you.
and forth a few
Yes.
times.
Hey,
Glenn, good to see you again.
All right, nice to meet you.
Glenn, I mean, I want to go ahead and ask you, like, first of all, right off the bat, what does it feel like for you now being, a part of the administration, and coming out of the pandemic and now it's full guns blazing? And how do you feel about that? How does that make you feel?
It is good. I think, first of all, I think that Sean did an excellent job of leading us through the pandemic. I think that compared to a lot of other districts around us, we were ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Things we put in place and trying to make it the best of a bad situation. As we're slowly coming out of it, we're getting classes going. Took advantage of the pandemic, and in some aspects, without the pandemic, I don't know if we'd have the esports lab.
What about summer school?
And
Summer school was amazing, and it was. I mean, some of the classes that were being offered, I wanted to go. I mean, I'm not kidding you. I thought some of the stuff was really cool.
Yeah, and working
And
on that this
innovative.
summer too. We took survey data from students and from staff and adding some different pieces in, and there's so many different aspects. And this summer, the possibility of we have these labs now. Can we offer some of the different things within those labs that we had? They didn't have last year, but summer school was very well received last year, and we're working on it now to hopefully make it improved from even last year.
you say summer school like it's a not. I didn't pass my classes.
Not a traditional
extra summer.
Yeah,
school.
that's why we
Okay.
called it
I'm like,
extended
you were
learning.
excited. The kids were excited for summer school. That's
Yeah.
why I was like,
And we use that term because that's what people
Yeah,
are familiar with,
okay.
but more of it was extended learning, and it's more of it wasn't it was help with some lost learning that maybe
Yep.
for some students it had, but also exposed them to a lot of different things. We had a lot of activities. We had PE classes going
Mhm.
on. We had some crafts classes going on. There were advanced math classes. Actually, Sean taught an LA class.
yeah.
So yeah, so not your traditional summer school. It's more of
okay, so it was extra. I
yeah,
want to go
enrichment stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So, what did you see was missing? Because everyone's all excited to come back, obviously. But what did you see was lacking or missing when it came to the academics and?
See, and I think that, the world has been moving more towards a lot of online classes and those pieces. I think we learned that being physically with each other and seeing each other's faces, talking to each other, and that human contact, I think that proved that we still need those pieces.
'Cause I learned from that because I do all my college through online, and I was like, well, what's the big deal? I'm just asking kids. Like, my son goes to Grasso, and we were on the parent-teacher conferences, and I'm like, what is wrong with these kids? That's why I learned from it, because I'm like, I do all my education online, and I have no problem.
Yeah.
And the teacher
I couldn't
opened
do
my
it online.
eyes.
Yeah.
My teacher, the staff opened my eyes. They're like, well, you want to do that. The kids don't want to go to high school.
Yeah, and I think also as adults, we've been through the process. I mean,
Right.
there's so much learning that takes place in
And you
school
have
that's
that-
not during the
right.
time of actual class, the
Right.
interactions in the hallways or the just the, when
Yeah.
students having a bad day,
Need
you
the
pull them aside, have those
socialization.
conversations.
Right. Yeah.
See, I couldn't do it online. I couldn't do schooling online. I'd have to
No?
be in the classroom. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that I'm not motivated or anything like that. I just think every student is different.
You have the socialization,
how
the
they do-
social aspect.
Yeah, the social is well, I never shut up anyway during class, but
And those life skills that they need, those soft
Right.
skills for, for when beyond high school, when they're interviewing and
Yeah.
working with other people and those
Yeah,
pieces. So
we
I
saw a
think-
spike in the psychological aspect to it on the downside.
interpersonal skills
Yeah.
are key, especially when you move in. Like, there's so many kids right now that are suffering from anxiety.
Mhm.
And maybe who knows what it's from? Is it from being behind a mask and not being able to to talk to people? Be able to see them. Who knows what that? They'll be
Yeah.
studying that for the next 100 years.
They
but-
will. And also, and just the piece of having routines. I think routines are important as you're
Yeah.
growing up, getting those routines of
Yeah.
go to
Yeah.
school, you have the routines, you see your friends, where you eat lunch and those pieces. Where at home, it's just different. During the pandemic, when we first went out, we weren't sure what was going on. So as administrators, Sean's like, you could work from home. I lasted till 10 a.m. the first day, and I said, I'm going in because it's my routine. I just feel like it's different. But but there are kids who function well, from home and do those pieces too. So
It's funny you say that because I couldn't when the pandemic hit and people were saying, "Oh no, you got to stay home. You got to stay home." I'm like, okay, so I did a day, and that was it. Next day, I went back in.
Yeah,
couldn't do it.
Nope.
So yeah, creature of habit, I guess. So what do you? I mean, where's your department going from here? I mean, you've done so much expansion really in the last couple of years. Things to hear. There's something I want to talk about to Mr. Zubik about is the seating arrangements over in the middle school.
Some of the flexible seating. and
Flexible
things. Yep.
seating, yeah, which is really very interesting.
Yeah, it is.
So how did that come about?
That was kind of his brainchild, and
Was it?
we have students that that traditional of sitting there, and some people like to stand up when they're working. Some people like to move. We see those lifted desks all the time now, where people like to stand at work. So
I was going to say, what is flexible seating?
flexible seatings, we have seatings that some things where you could stand, where you have like a foot thing where you move it. Maybe you're a kid that likes to fidget, or they have
Mic underneath?
yes, you can have those type of seating. You have cafe style seating where you're sitting more of like at a top.
So can I put a treadmill under my desk?
You probably could. Some of the balls, like the core balls, some of those pieces, and just different type of seating. In our 5th grade classroom, there's some low levels, things where kids can sit on the floor on a mat and work at that level. So it's a mix.
It's
Not all,
really
some
neat,
kids
yeah.
like it, some kids don't, but there's the options.
It's definitely innovative.
Yep.
It's definitely innovative. So, all right. So let's talk to Jim Rand. Hey, Jim.
Oh, how are you?
So I'm great. I mean, it's good to be here. I wish I went to school here. The other school was great. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, my kids, some of them went here, and it was like totally different than the other school.
Yeah, we have some
totally
exciting.
different.
Yeah, we have some exciting new things here. The one that I'm the most excited about, and you can see from the logo on my shirt, is Esports, which is something that's still relatively new. It's probably, at least from the measurements I've seen, the biggest, or the largest expanding sport in the world right now. And we're happy to be a part of it here. We created our room upstairs, which I think you'll get a tour of later, called the Nexus. And that's our home base. That's where we play from. And we have competitive teams that are playing against each other, high school to high school, using the computer systems they have in their schools. Some do play from home, but here we play from our lab, the Nexus. And it's exciting to see, the evolution of the athlete to go from baseball, basketball, football, the traditionals, now to esports, which I think is going to be, somewhat of a game changer, no pun intended there, in the way that people look at what is a sport and how sports are, integrated into schools. And then you look at the other pieces too. It's not just about the esports. That room was built for 3 main purposes. We built it for animation purposes, which we'd like to get some animation courses in there. We're building for coding so that we can learn or teach, I should say, coding, Python coding, Java coding, a number of different languages. And then, of course, the esports piece itself, which has streaming content. It's got, team building content that we do. We have content creation that we do in there. It's so complex. It's not one thing. I've said this many times. It's many things. It's a lot of different skill sets that are all fully applicable to the workplace after you leave, but also it's a lot of fun while you're here too.
How did that come about?
Good question. A couple of years ago, right before the pandemic, there was a league that was offering an opportunity to jump into competitive gaming. No cost, try it out. And we had a team set up in about, I think a day and a half. I had 12 players lined up. The problem was the pandemic hit and the whole thing fell apart and it never actually went anywhere. But the idea for what that could be was started there. And so then fast forward about, a year later, I was approached with the idea again of, hey, let's really see if we can push this. And I, love to be a part of it. So we ended up doing that. We designed it for purpose. We really thought hard about what we wanted out of it. And then now it's time to build. And that's what we're in right now. We're in the building phase of putting everything together. We're still not where we want to be. Colleges are handing out scholarships now for esports. So I'm hoping that our players can look not only to what they can get here, but then where they can go with it after they leave here. So there's a lot of opportunity. But I think as far as the school goes, we're in a really good position because a lot of schools haven't put anything like this in. And the facility upstairs is tournament ready. I mean, we've been potentially looked at for hosting a tournament or two here with the facility we have because other schools just don't have it.
Wow.
That's amazing.
So the kids would come here play the sports, compete with other schools, and they have finals, championships. and
Correct.
everything else?
Correct. We're part of a league called High School Esports League, HSEL, which is the largest in the country. It's not just regional. We play when we do what's called queuing.
You can play anybody in the world, I'm assuming.
We can.
Yeah.
We can. Yeah. And we've played teams from Florida. We've played teams from the Midwest. We've played teams all over. Remember a couple of other things too. We break all the rules of sports, right? There's no busing cost.
Right.
We don't have to pay a referee. None of those things apply. We can cross state boundaries. We can go to the next town over right from our own home facility. We can do all of those. We can even have, if we had to, we had a situation where a student unfortunately had to be home at one point. So the rest of our team was in our lab. Well, that one student was able to join us from home and we played as a team. So those are things that, 6, 12, 18 months ago, we never thought of. And now that's our reality. So
that Thanksgiving game will be huge. That's
yeah. If you play it that way, true.
These are two really big changes. I mean, that I know just really in Griswold Public Schools is flexible seating, the esports. I mean, just things that the public are aware of now. Then of course, trying to get the RFPs, for the athletic fields. I mean, there's just a big boom
Also,
that's going on here.
Believe it or not, in June, we ordered a brand new weight facility here. It's been that long. Equipment's ready to come in, so it should be installed shortly. But in the back here, in the auxiliary gym, is going to have a whole new weight system too out there for our kids. So we tried to, with some of the funds that we had, we tried to hit a little bit of everything. I think it's truly important for kids to find their niche, what they're passionate about. With the esports, it hits a whole other different group of kids. We have our kids who are into the athletics. We have kids that are into Ray's show. And we have kids that cross over all the time, and it's acceptable here, which is also nice. So we did try to hit. There's some exciting things. We've come up with some new classes for the Nexus, and also at the middle school we have the Launchpad. It has the same computer systems. Like I said, and all of that work with Kyle Gunderman, who works in our tech department, and Jim. I'm not the computer guy. They figured out, hey, this is the things we need. These are the pieces. So we're also trying to figure out how can we utilize that lab over there, increase that. But we have some classes coming up that the teachers have come up with that we're going to try to get approved by the board. So we have those classes ready to go and really ahead of the game.
What would you say the benefits are from the esports? Because I know people will say, well, you're going to have teamwork, you're going to have physical training. What do you say the benefits from the esports are in that aspect?
Yeah, well, clearly the teamwork component is there.
Is there? I don't play games.
Oh, there. And it depends too. Like we have esports is not one thing. It's many different games within. So the teams that we have currently now, we have a Minecraft team where they play solo, one-on-one. We have a chess team.
Okay.
It's called 10-minute chess. That's also considered an esport. We have a player who's playing in that. That's a solo sport as well. But the other ones that we're involved in right now, Rocket League, Valorant, and drawing a blank here. Rocket League, Valorant, and Halo Infinite. Those are team sports. So we have to get the kids to work together as a unit. Headsets on, calling what's going on in the scene, coordinating with one another. And it's difficult. It's not easy. And I would say to the people who would look at esports, say, well, it's just kids playing games. It's not. Right. It's no different than if you're on a basketball court and you're trying to coordinate plays, or a football coach that's trying to give plays as well. It's a similar piece. But beyond that, there's also a tech aspect. We have a student who was helping us put up overlays so that as the games were playing, you could see a live stream at the top, which would show what our team and the away team had for scores.
On Twitch or something like that?
Correct. Yeah, we have a Twitch channel here that we broadcast on. We're also doing some work with streaming, not just that, but other sports as well. So, I would say that the sport part of it is the teamwork aspect, but there's a technical aspect. Those are job-ready skills, and those are critical to have. And instead of learning it, in a classroom, which is great, you can apply it in real time and do it as if you were, broadcasting something live and doing it right here from school.
So can anybody do it, or did you have to try out?
We had open enrollment, and the way that we're doing it right now is if you're interested in getting involved, we'd like to have students come in. We haven't had any cuts or anything like that yet. If the program got big enough where we would have to make decisions like that, we would. But right now we're focusing on that building phase of getting all of the pieces together. And to be honest with you, there's no playbook for this like there is for starting a baseball team or a football team. That's been going on for decades. We know how that works. Right. This is something new. And I actually think other schools may be looking at what we're doing to try to get an idea of what they might want to do should they build a program.
Griswold setting a model for this.
I think so. Yeah. I really believe that because we jumped out ahead of this in a way that was kind of trend setting almost, I think. And a lot of people have taken notice that this is a really good program that we are building here. We're not quite where we want to be yet, but we're definitely moving in that direction. And we have to be mindful that there's a lot of opportunity here that kids otherwise wouldn't get without a program like this, and the other support programs that we're going to put in place during the school day with those courses that we're trying to put in for next year.
Wow. So when it comes to like like doing live stuff and everything, I'd like to do something with you. I actually just sent you a link to your phone via text message.
Okay.
So I was wondering if you could go up to the esports area. You could actually jump right in and you can show us. You should be able to hear us. We should be able to talk back and forth. And you can give us an idea of what the esports area is all about.
Sure. So you want to do that in a little bit? Okay. All right.
We do whenever you want.
Yeah.
All you're gonna do is click on the link and then they'll ask you to put your name in there.
Yeah.
You don't have to sign up for anything or.
Okay.
And then we'll just pop you right through here.
We can make that work.
Okay.
Sure.
I'd love to see it. It's kind of hard to just bring this whole table up,
I know.
Let's go. So,
Time.
all right. So we'll do that.
Yes.
Glenn, is there anything else you want to mention or
Just,
something like that? Or?
You know, when we brought all these things to the Board of Ed, we also did our library media centers, making created learning commons like a college style at the high school and the middle school. The support we got from them, we brought a lot of things to them with a lot of outside the box thinking and with their support and with leadership. But we built the facility, but really, as you can tell, just talking to Jim, his passion for it and Kyle's passion for it, and some of the students I had in middle school that are here they found their niche, and when you talk to them about it, they get very excited. So that the goal, we've hit our goal. Now we got to build it and make it, improve it every year. And looking forward to adding, animations to class. We're really looking to push for and have some other things in that room. So
that's really cool.
Really good stuff.
All right, Glenn. Always
Thank
a
you.
pleasure, sir. Thank you very much. And we'll see you in a little bit, hopefully.
Yes. Sounds good.
All righty.
Thank you.
All right. So Jim Rand from the esports team. And just going to bring a couple of kids. Where's the other microphone? I think Mr. Lavasier left it right over here. Yep, it's right there. You can just hold it if you want to, or you can clip it on you, whichever you want to do. There you go. How you guys doing? How are you? Let's see. I don't think I got you there. Yeah, you might want to hold that piece and just hold it like a regular microphone.
Yeah.
You hold it up like this.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Because yep, bring it right on up.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right.
Okay. What's your name?
Joshua.
Joshua?
Yeah.
And what you freshman, junior, sophomore?
Freshman.
You're a freshman.
Yeah.
Okay. And your name?
My name's Caleb.
Caleb?
Yep.
Okay. And are you also a freshman or
Junior.
you're a junior?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you guys are gamers.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you think when this league, started here at Griswold High School? I mean, let's start with you. What were your thoughts on it?
I thought this was like a decent opportunity for people to kind of express what they, I guess, wanted to do, so to speak, like express their passions and their
creativity.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite game? I mean, what's the favorite game that you like to play during esports?
I play Valorant.
What is it?
Are you Valorant? Yeah.
Valorant. How about you?
Same with Valorant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is. I know Minecraft.
Valorant is a 5v5 first-person shooter, and basically you have one team that has a list of characters. There's 17 of them.
Yep.
And each character has a different ability, and you kind of build that team, and then you have a map. There's, I think, roughly around like 6 maps, I think. And the objective is, if you're on attacker side, there is a bomb, but it's called a spike, and you plant it, and then you have, I think, 30 seconds, around like a minute to, the other team has to like try to defuse it.
Yep.
And if you eliminate the diffusers, then you win the round. And then if they manage to defuse the spike, they win. And it's like kind of like, more like a building, thing. You have to communicate with your team. You have to come up with strategies.
How many people on your team during this?
So minus me, that's 4, whole 5v5. Yeah.
Yeah. So now you're playing against other schools, right?
We play against other schools, or sometimes when we don't have a tournament to queue with, we just go into like the normal games and we all play together to get that practice in.
Sure.
Practice our strategies and stuff like
Right.
that.
See, now I'm listening to the way you guys play and how the tournaments. I used to play Pong. You familiar with Pong?
Yeah.
It's like tennis,
Yeah,
back
it's
and
like
forth.
on the Atari. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my speed back in the day.
It's in museums now.
Yeah.
I like Pong, Super Mario Brothers, any 8-bit game I could handle. The games you guys play now, you guys need PhDs. I can't even play those things.
They're
telling you, I don't
definitely
even
they're definitely
understand them.
advanced nowadays.
There was a
try
game.
quick.
There was a game back when we were kids that was in the arcades, and it's like I couldn't believe I couldn't understand. It's called Dragon's Lair.
Dragon. I'm not familiar with that one.
It was like a cartoon, kind of like what they're playing today.
Oh, okay.
That's how we look at it.
Because I remember what was it, Centipede, that had like the pool ball in the middle, and you had to.
Oh yeah.
That was-
Yeah, no.
No.
Now these guys are so much
Yeah.
further
You had to
advanced.
stack your quarters. I got next game. Stack your quarters.
Yeah.
Let's see. You got a question here. I'm going to ask either one of you could answer this. It's Daryl would like to know. Would love to know what gaming gear you're using at the school, such as keyboard, mice, and headsets.
What?
Yeah, I can do that. So basically, all the headsets you have to use, you have to bring your own. It's basically that type of system. But for the keywords, it's a Red Dragon. I think it's the K55. I don't remember.
Mhm.
And then the mouse is the Death Adder V2s from Razer.
Got it. All right, Daryl. Hope that answered your question. And Daryl is actually a business owner in town that fixes computers.
That's
So
fine.
And they're
It's
what?
so
All USB,
Yeah.
Yeah.
backlit keyboard.
We can bring in our own stuff, or there's like supplied stuff there,
Right.
depending
Any
on.
joystick mouse or just no.
No.
Daryl says, yes, I would love to sponsor them. Well, you guys looking for sponsors?
Yeah, we're
Are
definitely
you?
looking for
You looking
sponsors.
I'll hook you up with Daryl. He's a good cat.
That's big. That's huge. That's our community looking out for each other, right?
Yeah, that is. That is. It's exactly what it is. So where do you guys go from here? I mean, are there going to be tournaments? I mean, is there a lot of smack talking or what? How is it?
Our plan is to really get up in the ranks. So when we start to do our tournaments, we're hopefully gonna, beat all these other high schools. And then there's a big championship that was supposed to be in Texas, but it's now like all online.
Mhm.
And there's a chance to win like I think $150,000 worth in scholarships.
Nice, nice. Now, when is that? Towards the end of the year, the end of the school year, or?
Like around,
So,
I'd like to
May.
say like May, June. Around there.
Yeah, it's like towards the end of school.
You know, the remarkable thing about this is that when I was in high school, this was never thought of.
No. Well, it
No.
didn't exist. What do you think?
Well, not only, no, it started to between
We had
Atari and
home gaming
MTV. I
systems with
mean,
one button and one joystick. What are you talking about? And the rich kid down the street, he's the one that had the paddle. Come on.
from the ColecoVision. So now, is this the first year that this has been going on?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a couple advisors,
Yeah.
and everything. Okay, so Mr. Rand and then Mr. Gunderman, right? Yeah. So like, does he play?
Sometimes they both have played before. with
Please
us.
tell me you kick his butt.
Right.
Well, we're on the same team, so
Working on it.
So you got to have a lab. There's got to be a board in the lab where you guys go one-on-one.
There's
I
got
mean,
to
we
be
could
some
do that,
smack talk.
'cause, I mean, the way the computers are set up is that there's a giant row in the back, and then there's one row behind us, and then there's a row like in just like the middle of the room that has a computer on each side, like going this way. So we could do that. But, I mean, I feel bad for these guys, if
Kyle, you want to come in for a minute?
It's like, how come the teachers are always playing?
Well, I just want to get an idea what your role is in this whole thing.
Wait, take my
Either one, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I can go.
All right, let's see here. Kyle Gunderman, class of 1984, Griswold High School.
Victorian.
Calling you out. Hey.
Did you get that?
Yeah, that's good. We still have hair though back from '84. You notice that?
I don't. I'm losing it.
Yeah, I know. You're good.
It's
You're
going
good.
away.
Is it really? I can't tell.
From the front, you can.
I take
So, what role do you play in this whole thing?
Oh, I didn't initially think about it this way, but to have an esports program that really works, I think you need to have the school IT part of it. You know, I just organically worked with Jim when we were designing the lab, but simply as you know, that the networks are not always open, so sometimes the kids are trying to sign up for accounts and not getting emails, so it's good to have me right there that I can get that information through and let it unblock. And it just makes it a lot easier to talk to some other schools and their teams that don't have IT support, and they're playing with a hand behind their back verbally. So, and you know me, tech is fun.
Now, how long did it take you to build this?
Surprisingly, probably under 6 months. The lab, 6 months roughly from starting design to actually being done.
That's not bad.
It was.
I mean, I don't know what to compare it to, but
Yeah, it was during the spring of last year, during all the supply chain shortages of computers and parts. So I didn't necessarily I wanted to buy computer parts and have the kids build them to get that experience too.
Yep.
But the cost of the individual parts was more than buying the whole. And Dell was the only one that could guarantee that we would get the 21 computers. Actually, turned out to be 42 because of the middle school that we wanted. Before
do they have an esports team too in the middle school?
No, they don't have. They had the computers in a lab over there, and they're doing more advanced. Not really classes right now. I think they're doing stuff during the web period, but with the idea to get to having the classes that Mr. Rand talked about, and potentially because HSEL actually has an MSEL, a middle school league too. So hopefully that will
grow into that.
Right, exactly.
It'll be like
Feed
farm
our program.
system in the major leagues, kind
Exactly.
of like that. So you excited to be able to being a part of this?
Yeah.
Now, do you play athletic sports too, or?
No, I am not the athletic type of guy.
Okay, so no, that's why I think this is important. So now you're a part of a league that is recognized and really cool. And do you feel like you're part of something?
Yeah, I would like to say I am.
Yeah, well, I would say that you are.
And I can't remember the exact number, Mr. Rand. I think at least 11, maybe 12 of our kids earned varsity letters last season.
Really? That's awesome. That's awesome. How many schools in the area?
In the area that
have an esports team
that I know of is Manchester, Woodstock, I think Thompson, and because Thompson we actually saw in our Rocket League last year. We never got queued against them, but we saw them in the leaderboard, bouncing up and down right around with our top team. I think
NFA, are they in that?
I haven't seen them anywhere. Some of the schools do, but because there's so many different leagues and with the part, it's not always easy to know, and they don't always advertise really well that they have the esports team.
Gotcha.
Now, Rocket League, that's the game where it's like soccer with like
Cars.
RC cars,
Yep.
right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I've played that one. All right, there we go.
Josh was on one of our teams last season doing that, and he's also this season doing content creation, so taking the game clips, putting together short videos to do for.
So you're a smart cookie.
I do a bunch of things.
like Jim was
I
saying,
like that, though.
there's so many different opportunities. It's not just playing the game; it's doing the content creation, doing the marketing to it. Getting sponsors like they did just a few minutes ago.
Now, this game, the 5v5, what was it? Valorant? Valorant. Now, are there different, I guess, assignments within the team? Like you are this person, you are X.
As Caleb was saying, there are different agents, and I'm not the best one to speak because I am very, very bad at it. But there is what's the different roles? I know there's a duelist, which is your point person. You've got controllers, which do smoke screens and try to control an area. What's the initiator? And I don't understand what that means, initiating, but locking down the site. Sentinel, which is the defense, holding ground, healing people. And depending on the map and the type of game, the meta of the game kind of constitutes how you make your 5-person team. You have 2 duels, and an initiator, or, because each map will require different grouping.
No, I like that.
And that's the part that Caleb was talking about in terms of the practice and mental theory about the game, is figuring out what is the best makeup of a team, not only just in general, but then with your players who can play what better. And that's what they practice. They'll take on different roles, so they figure out, okay, this person is definitely going to be a duelist, this person is going to be a controller, and they work and learn those skill sets.
Right, absolutely. And those are transferable because you got critical thinking skills, you got learning how to work as a team, accomplish a goal.
Yeah, so many people just think it's your game, but there is so much more involved. It's almost more complex than a regular sport in terms of all the skills that you need. What have you been playing this year?
I've been playing Valorant.
Yeah, but which agent have you been playing?
I've been playing Raze.
And Raze is a duelist, so you're a team point person.
All right. You want to can you guys take Rich up to the esports area?
Yeah.
You are? All right. So I'm gonna bring you. You're in there now, Rich.
Yep.
I got you on the stream. Oops. And so they're gonna actually hand them off to these two gentlemen here.
Can you hear me on the mic?
You want me to go there?
No, that's fine. That's fine right there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, so just follow Mr. Gunderman and Mr. Rand, and those two gentlemen there.
Look at that live.
We're on the move.
Yeah. So Rich, talk. Let me see if I can hear you.
All right, checking.
You got to enable your microphone though, dude.
Yeah, my mic's open.
We're probably gonna have to change that frame though. But didn't look. It's like one of those inside videos, like inside Griswold High School.
Trying to.
It almost looks like we're doing something bad, right? It's like
Kinda.
Yeah, I can't hear you that well, so you're gonna have to speak up.
I don't know why it won't let me switch. So I don't want to.
Oh, you like the Publishers Clearinghouse?
Keeps going to full screen. I don't want to go to full screen.
All right, room 4202, the Nexus room.
So where else are you gonna get a shot like that?
It's pretty neat. It reminds me of being in an Xbox. The box itself and everything, the colors.
Yeah, we flipped the color scheme. The colors for Griswold are white and green, but that's not esports friendly. So we ended up
I don't know why I can't.
lime green.
Oh, all right, so now they're showing us the esports area. Unfortunately, we can't hear a darn thing.
And we have
they're
20
saying.
PCs in here, plus teacher terminal right here in the front. These are pro gaming level machines. Mr. Gunderman can speak more to the specifications than I can, but these are 32 gigs of
unfortunately, this is
RAM,
not very
i9,
effective.
built with gaming in mind.
It
Of
does
course,
look
we can
really,
use them
really
for
cool.
other
Those
purposes
gaming
as
chairs.
well, but
You think
that's
we can
primarily
hop
what
one of
they
those
do.
home?
Hard refresh rate monitors,
Town hall
full
chair.
I
mechanical
did, yeah,
control,
I did.
death
did.
battery device.
Mr. Zubek can attest to that because he was at the meeting last night.
About what would make sense for esports,
You should have just taken one and just sitting there. There
for
was
the
more
other
than enough
applications we want the game to be able to do.
sitting in the thing.
And this was our final design. We also have a couple of other things too.
Me too.
With
Me too.
Mr. Gunderman and the team are. We've got which can wirelessly broadcast video to the front. We've also got two 55-inch flat
You
screens.
have the microphones on you?
Yes.
There we go. It's on,
At
right?
some time,
Okay.
that will be where.
All right. So now we're going to talk to Mr. Zubek and Mr. Parkinson, correct? Now, we have never met. I've never met. I do not believe we have met.
Long run, and we're really excited. This is somewhat of a.
Okay, well, apparently they can.
Ideas of
can
doing something
hear
like this for a long time.
the folks
And when
in
the opportunity
esports
came,
room.
we
just
said yes.
can't hear them.
Let's really push this as hard as we can.
That's going to make for an interesting
a lot of
interview.
real, potential for what we can, where we can bring this school.
Oh, nice.
So I don't.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many kids can play at once?
Well,
which
with
could be
teacher
any second.
station 21, but realistically, if we're going to have a class in here, we're going to have teachers sitting here,
Yeah.
20, up to 20 kids total.
Yeah.
And all of these desks are individuals, so they can be moved if we needed to reshuffle them
Okay.
at some
Yeah, I'm going
time.
to go ahead and just because
Can I go up and down too?
So there we go. Anyway, thanks for coming by. Thanks for, sorry it took took us, long enough to get you in here and stuff. So, first of all, I wanted to say to you that I thought it was I was very impressed that you came to the meeting to represent the middle school and Griswold Public Schools last night. To that meeting, usually it's Mr. McKenna. He was at the meeting last night.
I know.
Okay.
I was at the meeting last night. Yeah.
You were?
Yeah.
Mr. Harden's the secretary.
That's right. That's right.
Sat in the wrong row.
Yep. I must be in the front row. So, but I thought that was very interesting, and very cool that you guys, that you showed up and stuff and took part in that. So thank you. As being a Griswold citizen, and being on a couple of different boards myself, it's nice to see people not only. I mean, you don't live in Griswold, correct?
No.
Okay, so but you work in Griswold, so you taking part of in that community is even more important when you do that. So.
Yeah, Jeff and I thought it was important for the two of us to be involved. So we'll be going, we'll be switching who goes to the meeting. So he might go to the next one. But we feel like at the middle school level, that's finally where the kids start to get some freedom. They go out on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And we've dealt with a lot of things that's happened in that area, certain discipline issues, things that we know are going to happen after school or already happened after school. So we call parents a lot and talk about the skate park and what we think's going to happen there or what happened there this past weekend or rumors we hear, and we're constantly dealing with it. So, again, because it's that age group that they're having finally freedom to go out on their own into town. So we think the two of us need to be involved, and at least at a minimum, letting you guys know what's going on there, what we know is going on there, and then whatever education we can provide in the school so that kids are making better choices.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. So now, how long have you been with Griswold Public Schools? I'm assuming you came in when
6 months. Yeah.
Yeah, when you were promoted. Did he?
He came in beginning of this year. Yep.
Yeah. So this summer. Yeah.
Okay.
I started. Yeah.
No.
So I was in Stonington as a teacher prior to this. I spent the beginning of my career in Plainfield, right next door.
Gotcha.
Coached football up there. Don't tell anybody.
Well, we won't hold it against you.
With Smith?
Yeah.
Boy.
Coached,
He's a good guy.
I started at Plainfield High School in my career, and kind of always I love this area, so it was nice to come back up here. I miss the like you said, the communities here. Love them. So,
to me, and this is I remember when I was in middle school and in grammar school, well, middle school mostly. I remember our principal and assistant principal were a lot older. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's to see two young gentlemen doing, these jobs, or two young ladies, doing these jobs. Is it a lot easier for you to relate to the kids or the kids to relate to you? Do you think maybe?
I don't know if they think we're as young as you think we are.
Yeah, they see us as old. Yeah, they see us as old as their parents.
Yeah,
and maybe older sometimes. But
yeah.
No, I think it was a good time for myself to go into administration. I think we were kind of around the same experience with teaching, but we had enough teaching experience where we could relate to the educators and teachers and know what they go through. But yeah, we are young enough to relate to the students. We've been coaching. We're fresh out of coaching, So.
What did you coach?
Crew rowing.
Oh, okay.
Basketball down in Old Line.
Gotcha.
So. Yeah, I think it does help because we have a good rapport with our students.
Tell us about flexible seating. Now, this was pretty much your guys' baby. You were both of you. This is, your baby.
Kind of got it rolling before I got there, and then we kind of hit the ground running with it at the start of the school year. But variety of different types of seating has been put into different classrooms. Whether that be like some examples of that would be in our 5th grade classrooms, we have seating that's down low on the floor, so very low tables that are maybe, I don't know, we say about 2 feet off the ground, maybe
not even.
Maybe not even. And then we have kind of your standard level type desk, but what we've equipped those desks with is some sort of different type of chair. So we have wobble chairs that can kind of move with the students. We have ball chairs, which are basically like those exercise balls within like a frame that the students can sit on so they can move around a little bit in that. And then we have higher level of seating. So we have kind of like, I guess, like pub type tables that would be higher with some stools, or the students can stand at those. We also have standing desks. So kind of like different heights that the students can learn at that fit them best. So a lot of data shows that's best for students to promote active learning, or different students who maybe prefer to be a different way while they learn. For example, a student who maybe has ADHD is better to stand while they learn because they can move a little bit, or one of those chairs that allows them to move a little bit actually helps them focus, as opposed to some students where, that would be a distraction for them. And then as we go to some other rooms, we have some more specific setups. I know our 2 LA classrooms in 8th grade are almost set up. They look like a coffee shop. So they have some little couches. They have pub tables with stools around them. So it's a really cool look in those classrooms as well. The students really like it. They're in most classes are able to have their choice kind of what they would like and what suits them best, what fits them best. And by this time of year, a lot of them have kind of figured out where their comfort zone is. We have some students who prefer to stay in the conventional desk, but then we have a lot of students who really like sitting at the different options.
Right.
So the student decides what they want, or is it a classroom based, or is it a combination of?
Depends. Yeah. It depends on the teacher, depends on the class, depends on the activity in that given day, what they might be doing. The idea of it is for the students to be able to find what suits them best, and the teacher to obviously guide them and help them with that.
It sounds just comfortable.
It does.
And cozy.
Yeah. I started noticing that with a lot of our younger engineers coming into my day job, that they would start getting all these standing desks and all these different chairs. I guess you would call them chairs. They didn't really look like chairs, but that's what they would use and request.
Huh?
It's better on the back too. I have to do that at work.
It is a standing desk. Yeah, since COVID, we put standing desks in our office, and it helps because we're in and out of our office. It helps with your back. Yeah.
Now, does it go up and down?
Yeah.
So that way you can sit if you have the choice to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but you think we work best in that. Like I work best standing up, and later in the day when I need to type something, like a longer report, I'll sit down. Yep. I have a comfortable chair. It moves. I'm back. I'm doing all these things. So why don't we have kids? Why don't we have kids do that? What's that?
Don't let Mike in your office.
break something. Yeah, no.
I know where you can get a good
chair. I don't have
chair.
a nice chair, so he can steal my chair.
I know where you can get a good chair.
No, I do too. So it gives the kids options. Like, we're fresh out of doing some college courses, getting our administrative degree, and the worst thing is when you walk in the room and the desks are in rows. It's hard plastic or wood, and you're like, I sit there for 3 hours. So like you were saying, the kids walk in, they're just comfortable. Every classroom's a little different.
Yeah.
Like Jeff was saying, that they know which chairs they like sitting in, and
I really want to see these cafe classrooms. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, we're looking to expand it next year, obviously, to have more of it. The 8th grade LA classrooms are really cool. The kids really like those.
I mean, is the classroom basically just evolving?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
From because for example, in high school, there was this one teacher that was over there. His name was Mr. Gerbert. He was did you know Mr. Gerbert? No. All right. He's from Pawcatuck. Okay. He's from that area down there. Matter of fact, he would mow his lawn with his shirt and tie on. And everything. This is the kind of guy he was. But he was actually my favorite teacher. He was a really nice man, an old military guy, and just really he loved the kids. You could tell. But anyway, he was very structured. He had 5 rows of 5. He wouldn't take any more than 25 kids in the class. So like section 1, they had section 1, 2, 3, 4, and then practice tests on 5. So, but that's the way it was. It was very, very structured. Sitting in the same type of seat. That's what I mean. How did this come to you? I guess.
So, and actually, I just want to speak to that. What we found over time, especially with working with some special education teachers, is that's not good for students because it doesn't teach them to deal with change, flexibility. When they're walking in, it's regimented, structured, and they can predict. So one of the things special education teachers do is they make it a point to make their kids' days unpredictable. So they're able to deal with change. So again, kids walk in different rooms. Every room's set up differently, but also the idea was to go away from, when I presented it to the board and Sean, I had a black and white photo from the 50s of just these rows and desks. And then I took a picture from one of my math classrooms. And it was the exact same picture. I'm like, we've gone 50, 60 years, 70 years, we haven't evolved at all, But now we're much more focused on collaboration, content creation. It's more student focused, group focused, as opposed to just stand and deliver, So the way that these classes are set up, they're able to arrange the seats more, be flexible, the whole coffee house style. They're already set up in groups. It's more about sharing and presenting. So we took that, and we also that gave us the idea to do the change the library into a learning commons. You know, go away from the structure and silent reading to more collaboration, and
you can talk in the library now.
It's encouraged.
It's encouraged. Yeah.
It's encouraged.
I mean, that's the way the workforce is. You know what I mean? Like, we're constantly running in and out each other's office, meetings, groups, talking. You know, we're not in our cubicles, dead silent. You know.
What kind of feedback are you getting from parents?
I think the parents like it. I know the students like it. You know, they like the idea of being able to. I know sometimes they're arguing over who gets the certain desk, or they're getting, you know, and the teacher's got to develop some sort of system to make sure they all.
Are you arguing with the kids which one you want?
Yeah,
I want that chair.
Yeah. Well, when we go in to observe, we always sit down in a wobble chair. That's just different. But if you ever sit on a wobble chair, like, I wouldn't sit there every day, but like,
it's just cool.
It's just a different feeling. It's actually good for your posture and back too, and you know. Just a difference.
I don't think I've ever heard of a wobble chair. Have you?
Well, I've had some chairs wobble, but I don't know.
There you go.
I can make them wobble.
It looks like a pedestal. It's got the seat on top, and then the bottom just almost has a rounded.
Really?
So kind of can move.
I would almost not tell somebody it was a wobble chair just to see when they
see how far they go back. Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, even when I was a kid, I constantly 2 feet on the floor. I'm doing this, doing that. So now this chair is made for that and actually designed so you're not, you know,
that was one thing.
Click clacking through class. Yeah. Yep.
Obviously, I need that.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. I've expanded my core. That's what I've done. But
the more core, the better, right?
Mine's bigger than ever.
Jeff mentioned the data and the research, and the research shows that actually increases blood flow, oxygen to the brain, which is making the kids able to focus more. So not just, you know.
So one question, with the different structure in the classroom, and obviously more focus on the collaboration and teamwork and probably thinking skills within their group. Now, does that change content delivery modalities at all? There's got to be a different way of presenting material to the students.
Yeah, and that's part of the blended learning initiative for the district is you know, kind of melding together different methods of learning. And obviously a portion of that is still teacher-led instruction, but then going to where the students are kind of discovering their own learning or taking ownership of their own learning, you know, with the guidance of the teacher within the room. So allowing them to kind of create their own understanding, and then also giving them multiple ways to display their understanding. You know, some students may want to write your conventional research paper, but then another student might want to create some sort of, you know, video representation of what they've learned, or another student might want to record a podcast of what they've learned, or, you know, so there's different ways for you to show your understanding as well, and kind of, you know, all that, students learning at their own paces and all those things within that all connect to this.
It's just not like just taking multiple choice tests anymore.
No, much more. Yeah, much more of that. Yeah, still part of it was through the multiple.
Well, I was a horrible test taker.
Yeah,
you know, and my grades were okay, you know, and I passed and everything, but I was a horrible test taker, and that's how they gauged everybody back then.
Yeah,
you know,
it'd be similar to, like, you know,
Iowa tests, you know, A, B, C, or D.
Yeah, sure. A lot of us know how to change an oil in a car, but kids don't know. But yeah, it's either they can tell you to describe to me in a paragraph how to change the oil of a car, right? Or just show me how to do it, or draw a poster. You know, there's different ways to show you can do something.
Exactly.
But not everything works for each person.
But this is just, I mean, just like how education has evolved, you know, over the last
and it's preparing
30, 40 years.
What comes after school, right? How often in our day-to-day lives do we approach a problem and then go, okay, here are options A, B, C, and D. What am I going to do? No, that's not how it works.
It's not how it works.
So, you know, we're preparing them for what comes in life after, regardless of whatever track you take, whether that be college, the workplace, you know, military, whatever that choice is. That's how all those things are.
So what happens next? I mean, you have the flexible seating. I mean, I mean, obviously you guys are pretty innovative over at the middle school. What comes next? I mean, are you going to have all the rooms, or are they already all built out for this, or just?
Yeah, well, the 5th grade class, we start with the 5th grade classes. They're fully designed. Like Jeff mentioned, we call them the levels of learning, floor, regular seats, high tops, and they all have flexible seating. And then the other grades just kind of sprinkled in, except for the two LA classes. So what we did our last team meetings with each grade level, we told them to kind of come up with a wish list, think about their own teaching style, what they like to do, how they like to teach, different things that we've provided them that they like and don't like. And then we're supposed to talk about that actually next week at our team meetings, to come up with a new list for next year, where to go. So now that we want every teacher to experience it and then to kind of come up with their own ideas, what they like, instead of us doing it for them.
Gotcha. Isn't it so much different than when we were in school?
Absolutely.
You know, when we were in school, I'm not joking around, but it was you'd buck the system a little bit, and it's like, Mike, sit down, shut up.
Well, that's what I was
I'm not
talk
kidding
about.
you. That's really how it was.
Still not always a bad policy, but but yeah, no, we like want to encourage them.
You know what I mean? Though, but that was the basic answer for most of it. You know, it's like, this is the way we do it. You don't like it, pow.
Well, Mike was the only one with an assigned seat in all of his classes.
That's Mike's seat. He's got his name on it.
I was in the corner.
Yeah, I mean,
But I
we
was going to talk about
teachers.
personalization with the teachers and their own lesson plans, and obviously how they work in their environment. Have you seen other teachers kind of see? Because I'm sure you had some that were immediately on board with it, and then some that maybe were a little bit more reserved. But have you seen them kind of go, "Oh, I kind of like that"?
A lot have, yeah. With a lot of the stuff we've done some SCL things, and a lot of teachers that we didn't expect come to us, and they're like, "Actually, that was awesome. That works. We're gonna keep doing it." You know, the 2 8th grade LA classes that are set up like a coffee house, that was actually their idea. So
the kids' idea or the teachers?
The 2 teachers.
Really?
So they came right up front to us, and we explained to them what we're thinking about doing. They're like, "Oh, could we do this?" And they showed us their thoughts, and we went with it, and it's really cool. So,
What do you mean set up like a coffee house? I mean,
so it's got, so, you know, obviously you have they still have the smart board and all that in the front. And then, so if you take Doug Scholl's classroom, for example, he has kind of 2 futons, I guess they are basically, but we keep them up in obviously the seated position. So he has 4 of those.
No one's laying down.
Yeah, no one's laying down and sleeping in class. Well, they're at least not laying down and sleeping. So there's the 4, you know, basically 4 of those, and he went and got some coffee tables he must have picked up off a yard sale or something like that. He has in there, and then kind of around the back he has circular pub tables with stools that, you know, I think about 2 or 3 students sit at each one. So he's got, you know, 6 or 7 of those kind of going around the back of the class. So if you walk into his class, you'll see those, you know, probably 2 students at each. We probably could sit 3 in non-COVID spacing times, but 2 are at each of the couches, and then there's 2 at each of the tables kind of up sitting around the back. And I think he has some sort of rotation within his class because they all want to get down on the couches. But so he has some sort of rotation within his class of where they sit on a given day. So you'll see the students at the tables working at the table. The other ones might have their Chromebook on their lap working on them, or they're collaborating.
So it's like they're at the local coffee house.
Yeah, makes you think of like an open mic night at a coffee shop.
I was going to
like
ask,
poetry reading night. You know, that's what kind of has a feel of
slam poetry.
Yeah, slam poetry.
He actually has like all sorts of sports memorabilia like all over his walls. So it actually does have like kind of that feel.
Yeah.
No.
He probably just keeps it in the closet when we're not there.
Yeah.
Takes it out.
We don't need to be giving the kids coffee.
No.
Well, I was going to say, if there's a barista in there, sign me up.
Right?
No, that's at the grammar school.
That's next.
3rd grader, I'll have a cappuccino. Anything else that maybe we should touch upon or anything? I just think that the
flexible seating was
really cool.
We had 3 big projects last year going into the summer and this year, and that was the flexible seating, renovating our library into a learning center, learning commons, and then building the launch pad, which is kind of the JV to the Nexus, which you guys just saw.
Upstairs, yeah.
So we have our own computer lab, high-tech computer lab.
I think Kyle was talking about that and how they were going to 21, and all of a sudden it was 42 computers because.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. We figured why not? Might as well make kind of a connection to our high school, get the kids started there. You know, so the thought is for next year we're going to be offering a general computer science class to 7th and 8th graders, where they're going to be introduced to like programming, computer graphics, art design, that kind of stuff. And then we will have our own EA Sports club. It won't be a team; it'll be more of a club, and we already have activities built in there. So the kids are kind of getting an entry experience at the middle school to come here and then see the real deal.
See, now that made me think of, are there other types of programs that are happening over at the middle school that continue on here at the high school that maybe would have some of the middle school students say, you know, I want to continue on at Griswold High School and not, you know, I'm not going to decide on going to an out of town school because I like what I'm doing here and I can continue this.
Yeah, I think this is probably the main connection between the 2 schools. So this is meant to be that main connection. because we didn't have a lot of technology-based, at least at the middle school, technology-based experiences for the kids, you know, but we know that's the workforce they're going into, right? I mean, between computer programming, gaming, sports betting. I mean, that's the, you know, one of my...
Wait, they're not running a sports book in the middle school.
No, but one of my favorite students of all time, one of the most talented athletes I've ever had, one of the smartest kids, he went on to Syracuse and majored in sports broadcasting and statistics.
Right.
And now he works for Yahoo Sports, making a lot of money, and he basically runs their fantasy football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And who would have thought that that's where he would have gone? But makes a lot more money.
Makes
Makes a lot more money than I do doing something pretty fun.
There's not.
Oh.
So anybody listening, no.
No, we're not encouraging that, but that's, I mean,
we're talking
the workforce
statistics,
is the
data
workforce.
analysis. We're getting into
Correct.
the meta of the data that's there.
There you go.
Oh, goodness sakes alive. Leave it to you, John. Leave it to you.
But
All
we,
right.
we are trying to do more of that. Like you were saying, we are trying to make more
The connection, you know,
between the two schools,
bridge,
so that
yeah.
because we do want students that are here to stay in district and continue on, because we have an awesome high school. So
Well, I mean, to go to the awesome high school, you got to have a really awesome and incredible middle school. So, and just to hear the innovations that are going on over at the middle school, you know, and the leadership over there that's building that, it's pretty awesome. And I'm really impressed you guys showing up at the meeting last night. That really, just as a resident of the town, you know, the heck with this, what we're doing here, but just as a resident of the town. You know, having you
it's
guys
important
show up
because the kids are only with us for part of the day, and then they're out in the town, so
Right.
we should be connected. You know?
And we're out in the town,
village.
us and other residents, you know what I mean? I don't think other than, you know, a Board of Education meeting, you know, or Mr. McKenna coming, I don't think I've seen, maybe Steve. You know, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Good.
So,
yeah.
anyway.
Important to have that connection.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Jeff, it was a pleasure meeting you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So machine learning, AI, Internet of Things. Make sure.
Yes.
All right. Well, we still got to hand one to Mr. Bordeaux there. Thank you very much. Huh?
We're tag teaming it over.
Yeah, we have a couple more interviews to go. I mean, the focus today that we're trying to really kind of to really get across is Griswold Public Schools can offer a great education experience. And John, we hear it all the time. And Rich, you know, it's like we hear about kids that are saying, well, where are you going to go? Well, I'm going to go to this school. I'm going to go to that school. I'm going to go. And some of these kids are incredible athletes, you know, and we're going to talk to Mr. Covino in a couple of minutes actually about this as well. But just talking about, you know, how everything is structured really to not stay like it's, you know, you have to stay, but it's because you want to stay.
Yeah, remember the basketball team we were talking to?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Come on in, sir. Good to see you.
Morning.
We're not seeing you on virtual.
Well,
Usually,
Yes,
see you on virtual for crying out loud. So this is Joseph Bordeaux. How many years have you been at the elementary school now?
Oh boy, I started my career in administration as the assistant principal
At the middle school?
At the elementary
elementary
school. And at that time, Sue Rourke was the principal.
Sure.
And actually,
she's back to work.
She is in Sterling.
In
Sterling. And we actually started on the same day. I believe it was like July 18th or something like that. And I spent 6 years as her assistant principal. And then when she moved to central office, I was extremely fortunate to be able to become the principal of Griswold Elementary School. And this is my, boy, oh boy, he tested me. 8th year as principal.
Okay. All right.
And 6 as assistant principal.
And now your assistant principal is Ms. or Mrs. Love. I'm not sure.
That's
Miss Love?
correct. Miss Jackie Love.
Right.
Yes.
We have not met her yet.
Oh.
We have not met her yet. So.
Mr. Hardnett, he has? Okay.
I have.
You have? Okay.
I have, not on this role. But.
No, I know.
Well, we'll have to bring her in for the next one.
Absolutely. That would be really good.
Absolutely.
But I remember when she was hired and everything, and the press release and stuff
Yes.
that I'd seen different. I'm thinking we haven't met this woman yet. So, but I've heard nothing but wonderful things, about her, and
She's doing a wonderful job.
so you guys
Wonderful
work
job.
well as a team, I'm assuming.
We do.
So
We do. It's all grounded in our students first, and our philosophies align. With how with education and how we promote the social, emotional, also the academic wellness of our students. So
it's much
absolutely.
different than it is middle school or high school. It's
It
it's a
is.
completely different ball game.
It is.
How do you deal with that? I mean,
Well, it's
how do you approach that? I should say.
well, I started my career as an elementary school teacher. I was a second grade teacher in Montville, and then moved on to become a fifth grade teacher. So it's been my experience in working with the youngest school age children,
right,
from preschool all the way through grade 4, grade 5. It is different. It is different. I think at the parent connection and being part of our in constant communication with our families is paramount, and also having that connection with all of our students as well.
So you prefer the elementary school ages, or how does
I
that
do.
work?
I
Okay.
do. In my experience, the only experience I've had is teaching fifth grade, and it was at the elementary school where I was before. So I haven't had an experience at the middle or high school.
Okay.
Just coaching.
Yeah.
One of my favorite teachers, again from Griswold. He was a fifth grade teacher.
Yeah.
He just recently passed. John Connolly. He was a fifth grade math teacher for many years. He passed just recently, within the year. So we talked to Mr. Zubek and Mr. Parkinson about a lot of different programs and things that they have going on at the middle school. What can we talk about as far as the elementary school, and what's focused on there? I mean, you had a heck of a thing going on with the pandemic, and a lot of these kids, I'm assuming, ended up with, very, high anxiety issues and stuff. I mean, how does a teacher deal with that? That's a whole new thing, not just for the student, but for the educator as well.
Absolutely. It's been again, that communication piece that we've had with our teachers. And another piece that has been very, very helpful to us is our relationship with EastCon. I don't know if Lewis and Jeff had talked about that.
We didn't get into that.
Okay. We have, through our Teaching, Learning, Innovation department with Ms. Labassiere, we've been working very closely with Aaron Dunn from EastCon. And we've been working very closely in looking at our social emotional learning curriculum, and also different things that we're doing at the elementary school to address those needs. We have a committee at the elementary level that has actually chosen a program and a curriculum that we're moving towards next year. So that consistency piece will remain throughout the entire school.
You mean the whole learning experience, like K through 12 you're talking about?
That's correct. That's correct.
I think that's important that everything will be congruent like that. So
this particular program goes through fifth grade, and then there's another adaptation of a social emotional program that will take place at the middle school. It just so happens that this particular program gears itself to the younger grades.
So did the pandemic actually bring that out, or was this a need before the pandemic that was never addressed?
It's a great that's a great question. It has always been a need, but I think there's more of a need now. We're seeing an increase in the need for our students. And I think that kind of has really perpetuated and sped up this whole process.
So this is what kind of bewilders me a little bit. I don't know if that's the right word, but someone pops into my head. It's a small head, so don't worry. But we were growing up, it was, suck it up, buttercup. Now, what has been the big change that you have seen? Because you deal with the kids all the time. What's the big difference? I mean, what's
more recently,
or in general, or as the years have gone on?
The pandemic,
I was going to say,
has been
in the last couple of years,
has been a piece that obviously we had no idea what we were going to experience. On March 13th of 2020, we went home, and our children went home. and didn't return.
Right.
And we closed out that school year by having reverse parades.
Yeah.
So families were driving by as we're standing on the sidewalk. So putting those things into perspective, and then last year with our cohorts of learning, we had students that were in school Monday, Tuesday, students that were in school Thursday, Friday, total remote learning on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
That for us, so in essence, we had about 10 to 12 students in a classroom per cohort. So the children have come back this year and they're in a whole group. They have 20 to 22 students that they're now in the same classroom with. So I think learning how to reacclimate themselves to the learning environment has been a big, big piece. And also, if you think about it, we have students that haven't had a full school experience in 2 years. So if you think about that, our third graders that are this year, our second graders have not had a full school experience until this year. So putting those things, I think, into perspective has been the biggest change that we have seen.
Well, that and the parents not being able to go to work because all of a sudden their kids are home every day.
Absolutely.
And having to teach them or help them learn or
absolutely.
I can tell you firsthand that was a stressor.
It was, and that is something that we recognized as well, and we were trying to provide as much support as possible, and having conversations with parents about, how programs were working and different things that they, could be doing at home as well.
I remember trying to help the kids with math, and I'm like, I barely passed math in high school myself. You want me to teach you?
Are you
this?
smarter than a fifth grader?
Yeah, right.
It's cliche now, but,
right.
It came to life.
Yes.
One thing I know is like when John and I would do baseball games last year, especially some of the high school games. The kids that we saw playing baseball, they were a sophomore.
Mm-hmm.
The last time they played organized ball, they were in Little League.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there's a big difference. So I mean, you equate it in one way, we saw it in another way, and it just really in the whole scheme of things, it was just, I mean, everybody was just set back.
Sure, absolutely.
And I would think, I mean, teachers are, I think, just as a rule, are very understanding of kids anyway, and that's why they're in the role that they are in. But I would think that you would have to go well past that because of this. Have you seen, and I didn't ask anybody else at any other level because it really was curious, was there a lot of frustration with maybe some of the teachers, like, I don't know how to reach, maybe a kid or two because of the anxiety level from the pandemic. And you'd expect that because the teacher's never been through this either.
Sure. It was all a first time for all of us.
Exactly.
So I wouldn't necessarily say frustration.
Would you have focus groups or something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. But opening up conversations.
Yeah.
And opening up some different talks about, hey, Joe, I'm noticing this is happening in this certain, situation. And we would, we'd bounce ideas off of one another. And Ms. Love, as well as our support team, have been very instrumental in having those conversations with people.
So have you seen the ages, because you're in a different bracket than middle school and high school with the kids' development? So are you saying that they've had to adapt and looking backwards more towards their development and having to adjust that way? And
those areas, I think overall, as an entire school population of 700 children, we have seen that we've had to make some adjustments in how we're delivering the curriculum to the students.
And you have the largest population.
We do.
In the Griswold public school system.
We do.
700 students, right?
We do. We're at 700 students. We have 80 of our youngest ones are in our preschool program.
Sure.
But yes, we have noticed that we've had to make some adjustments instructionally for children, and also systematic wise within the building. For example, our reading intervention program this year now has 2 certified teachers, and we utilize our interns and also support for part-time reading instructional people that we employ as well to target those specific needs of children. And also programmatically, we have a program called Foundations that is an early childhood program that we've extended into 3rd grade so that we can have that systematic approach, kindergarten through grade 3.
So that'll segue into my next question. How do you see that affecting or moving in the future as far as overall? Are we looking at having a different type of generations now where
it's hard to predict that?
Yeah.
You know, honestly, it really is. What we know is that we through data, you know, we're looking and analyzing student information and all those things to tell us what the children need at this time. We're hopeful that with that comes the children that are maybe a little bit behind where we'd expect them to be in a quote unquote normal type of school year, that is where that gap is closing, that we're able to make that up through those interventions.
That's what I was wondering. They're looking at making it up somewhere, or
Right. So for example, we have children in our reading intervention program that are receiving reading intervention 5 times a week. So in addition to their classroom instruction, they're seeing one of our certified teachers in a reading intervention class for 30 minutes, 5 days a week. So again, we're hopeful that that additional instruction is going to be what the children need to help them along.
What about socialization and everything? Because we're seeing a lot of socialization differences, even of older kids. They're going all the way down.
Absolutely. And I think that's what we're seeing as well.
Yeah.
And as you may be aware, you know, our most social place is out on the playground.
Sure.
You know, we have 125 to 130 students in one area that have different things that they're doing. Basketball, some kids choose basketball, Foursquare. Some children are on the swings.
I love Foursquare.
Yeah, it's great.
I
It's
love
great.
Foursquare.
So yes, that is a piece that we've noticed as well. And again, our support team through group work, through delivering some instruction through classroom instruction as well, but taking small groups and having children, you know, talking about playing scenarios. And also, again, you know, Ms. Love is instrumental with that, with her connections that she has with the students and the support team.
And she seems to have a strong drive with them. And
very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. And I mean, again, I think, you know, as I said earlier, part of our philosophies is that, you know, it's students first. And that is absolutely what she's grounded in. I think that allows her to make those connections with students and families and allows her to have those conversations with students and families as well. But that has been a big piece. It really has.
Thanks.
John, did you have any comments for Joe?
Well, I would have nothing but creative. Really, I mean, both of my boys went all the way through Griswold Elementary School, from the preschool all the way up.
Yeah.
And now, you know, I have a 7th grader and a 9th grader, but they got their start right across the street here. And
As did I.
And you were always there. Met you every night. There was something going on in the gym, whether that was a parents' night or it was a movie night. Movie nights were the best.
Movie night. Yes, yes. And we're hoping to get back to those movie nights. Absolutely. Absolutely. Those are a lot of fun. You know, that's another piece that I just want to mention that has been missing. Our PTO, as you know, they're absolutely incredible. Absolutely so wonderful and supportive. But that's a piece that's been missing as well. We have not been able to do those community events that were so successful, you know, and families love them and the kids love them.
Oh, they do. The pallets and the pillows and the sleeping bags and their DJs watching the movie.
Yes.
Right.
Our Polar Express evening, our reading night is something that, you know, this week is Read Across America Week. Tomorrow is Read Across America Day, celebrating Dr. Seuss's birthday. So we would coordinate and have a reading night. At that same evening, our teachers would volunteer, read to our families and students, and we'd have a map that went throughout the different classrooms, and we'd have a guest reader in each of the classrooms. So those are those important things that we've been missing. So we're very, very hopeful that we're going to be able to get back to that and get back to a big field day.
The guys and games, the whole 9 yards. Yeah.
Exactly, Mr. Hart. You remember those things.
I do.
Absolutely.
You know what is very, very, very important as well that somebody just brought to my attention? Jen Klubine. Joe is the best. All of us bus drivers love him. You got to have the love of the bus drivers.
Absolutely.
Or you're screwed.
Listen, they start the day.
Yeah.
Right. You think about it. The first person after the family, after the family is the bus driver.
I guess I
So
never looked at it that way, but you're right.
You know what, Mike?
Yeah.
In how that bus driver, oh, good morning, Joe. How you doing today? Oh, I'm doing great, Jen. You know, that's starting that child's day off. And Jen, along with the whole entire team, Lou and John at the bus garage, it's a great relationship that we have with them. And we have to be in communication with them frequently, obviously.
Is there anything else you wanted to touch on or anything before we bring on Steve? Well, I don't even know where Steve is.
Steve's almost ready.
I don't know. I haven't seen him. Well, I did. I saw him a couple times, but hey, Jimmy, is Steve around? Oh, is he?
He said he was going to come on out when he noticed that this was
I saw him
when this was winding down.
I saw him going.
When we were done. I'm gonna text him right now. Yeah, but seriously, anything that you wanted to like to touch on or anything?
Well, I will bring up one more thing, Mike.
Absolutely, please.
So you will notice, our families will notice that towards the end of the summer, beginning next school year, our playground is going to look completely different.
Oh, you can hear me. That's right. Okay. Okay, sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Through the board support, we're able to have many additional playground items that are going out in the playground that we're going to install over the summer. Again, our PTO has been incredibly helpful with all of those things. So again, providing our children another opportunity to engage in some different active play types of piece. That's huge for socialization as well.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to that.
There was one thing that I saw and I don't know if this is going in over here or not, but I saw in one school's play yard was like a zip line.
Oh wow!
It was a thing that you'd hold on to and sit.
Did they have a
and
tower?
No, it was not a drop. It was just it would go across.
I've seen the ones that weren't necessarily on a cable.
Yeah,
they were in the child jumped on, and they jumped off and went across. That isn't one of the things. Although that sounds like fun.
Yeah, but this was actually was in a town one. It wasn't in a school, but it was.
There you go. There you go.
20-foot drop into a 6-foot deep pool.
Right.
So when is that going to be ready for use?
Very hopeful that it'll be ready for the start of next school year. As with everything, we finally got all the pieces in. We finally have everything's ready. Everything's ready to go. Finally, and it was.
Was there a grant that?
It was supported through our Board of Ed. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been, and so we're very, very excited.
Very good. Joe, thank you very much.
No, absolutely. Thank you guys.
Thank you. I'm certainly glad that we get to talk to you, and not on
absolutely
on virtual. So
you related to the Bordeaux of Salem?
I am not.
Oh, okay.
I am not. Bordeaux Excavating?
Yeah.
Nope, I am not. I get asked that quite a bit though.
Yeah. Right.
Good people though. I do know that.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you
very much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. Good
Thank
seeing
you. Thank you. Good to see you. Mr. Hard, good to see you.
All right, just hand that over to Steve. Yeah, probably because he's
games. Yeah.
You can blame me.
It should be on already, isn't it? No. Yep. Here you go. How you doing, Steve?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing all right.
Smells like
chicken nuggets. Huh?
Yeah, pasta with sauce, string beans.
Where do I get it? Where do I score an ECC shirt?
These are special issue just for ADs.
Did they really?
Yeah, you want one?
I do. How much are they? I'll buy one, obviously.
No,
I'm not an AD though. So.
I'll try to get you one.
I would. I don't know. Just because then I could get.
He likes the swag.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I like to represent.
Yeah, I don't know. We try to for events. We try to all look the same.
So you're like the busiest man just about on campus that I know.
Some days, not every day.
There are some days that I appreciate you and everything that you do for us and what you allow us to do, and the fact that you're busy all the time during school day, 11:30 at night, and you'll text back always. Sometimes you're busy, and I get it, But sometimes, boom.
I should really just put the phone somewhere else. But if I hear it go off, I always look. So, and a lot of
I do
times
too. I do too.
I'll forget if I let it go to the morning and it's not a unread message.
Yeah.
It gets pushed down to the bottom, and
Yeah.
I'll never get back to
That's
it.
what my oldest daughter says when she doesn't text me back for 4 days.
Right.
It's like, oh, Dad, I saw it, but I forgot.
Well, he's got that special notification sound for Mike Minarski. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, there he is.
Oh, you know what? I have a sound effect here, and this is probably.
I gave him an idea.
You probably.
It won't let me bother you. So.
Well, no, you won't hear this. But ready? Here we go. Ready? This is my ringtone for that Steve hears. Did you hear that? Hold on. Yeah. It's like, it's him.
Debbie Downer.
Debbie Downer. Or you would get something like this.
Oh, that one. See, new toy. He's still playing.
Tells his wife, like, Ron Minarski's texting me. What do I hear? I get crickets.
Do you have cheering?
I do have cheering. You got a bunch of different things on this little thing. All right. So, I mean, the obvious conversation is, what's going on, with basketball and tournament play and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But,
yeah,
go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead if you have more of a.
No, but I wanted to touch on other sports that, that probably don't get as much publicity, as others do. We all know baseball, softball, basketball, and football, but there's so much more, as far as a sports program that you handle.
There's indoor track, outdoor track, there's fencing. Which a lot of people don't know about. We just hosted the league championships here last week.
For fencing?
For fencing.
You've done it a couple for QVC, the ECCs a few years now, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm the chairperson for fencing. I don't know why, but I think fencing kind of started here with Daryl Schlender.
Okay.
A long time ago, and that kind of grew. There's 9 teams now in the league.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So my niece did that when she was here. She was part of the fencing team.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we host a tournament every year. It's a long day.
Oh yeah.
12, 13-hour day. But
yeah, wrestling tournaments are a long day.
Same thing.
Those are long day. I remember those. With Dane, we would come and do the wrestling tournaments. And
every weekend they go somewhere.
If it wasn't here, it was Westerly or somewhere. It was crazy. We would travel all over the place.
Those are marathons for them.
Yeah.
Credit to them for putting the time in, and the coaches. It's a commitment for sure.
Do you have possibly the biggest staff of coaches, compared to there are teachers that, report to Aaron Polonin and everything, but you have,
I guess maybe
a whole ton of coaches. And I'm thinking that could be a very volatile kind of atmosphere what happens if coach can't come?
Yeah. I filled in a couple times.
I know.
I filled in for lacrosse several times.
Yeah.
We had boys lacrosse as a club here for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I had some people that knew a lot about lacrosse. I mean, I'm definitely not.
Yeah.
I couldn't coach a team for a season, but I could be the certified guy on the sideline while somebody else helps me. So legally we're covered.
Yeah.
But we co-op now with Ledyard, which I think is a good situation.
Lacrosse.
Yeah. We just don't have enough kids here that want to do it right now.
Now, wasn't Ledyard one of the first lax programs in this area?
It was Bacon.
There was a group.
Bacon?
There's Bacon, East Lyme, Ledyard, Stonington were kind of like and Waterford. So there was 6 teams, and now I think there's 14 teams. 14 schools that have it. A lot of us do co-op with each other, so we can make teams that way, which is, I think that's.
Is that hard to do?
The future is co-ops.
Is it
For
really?
a lot of sports, especially football.
Yeah, well, we see that with our co-op with Wheeler.
Yeah, I mean, we would be in rough shape if we didn't have Wheeler. I mean, it's 5 or 6 kids.
Yeah.
7 kids, but that pushes us over 30 kids every year.
NFA is going to co-op with the New York Jets.
Yeah. And they may get worse.
Right. They may want to cut that program.
Oh, hold on. Here we go. You got a rim shot there.
You got a rim shot.
I mean, it's weird because I talk to you more than anybody in the school or in the school district, probably Mr. McKenna, after you. And it's like, I almost don't know what to talk about with you, in this type of forum, and I know one thing that does aggravate me, not with you, but I mean, or the school system, is, I don't know, the kids that don't want to come here. They want to just kind of go off because maybe they think it's going to be a better opportunity. When really, I think in some of the schools, John, I mean, you're very much into youth sports. So a lot of these kids, before they hit, the high school or middle school level. What do you see in these kids that make them want to go to another school because maybe they currently have a huge football program?
Okay. Well, yeah, I think a lot of people see something and they say, hey, I want to be a part of that. And that's it. They don't go any deeper than that. Because if you look at our youth sports programs in this town, across the board, we dominate in youth sports. We see it in our Griswold youth football. We've seen it in our Jewett City Little League. We've gone to the state championship, 3 times in 4 years? Our junior league team is the state runner-up from last year. They're the reigning state runner-up from last year. Now, that's going to be your incoming freshman here to the high school from that team. So, I think the opportunities are here, and I think a lot of people don't understand some of the programs and things that are available to students at Griswold High School, but they just kind of see something shiny off the corner of their eye, and they say, hey, you want to be a part of that? Sure. Hey, there's opportunities that you can go there with different programs that schools offer. But if you want to maintain it, sports is your thing to do. And we've talked to almost all of our guests about, that's not the only extracurricular here at Griswold, but talking with the athletic director and sticking with sports, if sports is your thing and we dominate at the youth level, our middle school just won QVJC championship against Plainfield. They're going to be incoming freshmen to this school. You'll probably have more opportunities at a school like we have 550 students in this high school?
Yeah, about 534.
Yep. Not to be exact, but 534, give or take.
I look at that stuff all the time because we're on the edge of M and S in the state. So
he checks the absent list every morning.
Well, it's not trying to be. But I do check the absence to see who's here, to see if athletes are out.
Yeah, sure.
Because they need to be here by a certain time in order to play that day.
Right, and I think Griswold presents that opportunity that you can probably make more of an impact here at a younger level, like as an underclassman. And then we even talked about it when Ray was on. So we have our student athletes who are also involved with the spring musical. If you go to a bigger school, what type of opportunities are you going to have to participate in multiple different extracurriculars?
My question would be, how would you market that?
Well, you can't recruit. Is that correct?
You're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to recruit or anything. So, I mean, we're not sitting here to get a pitch from you.
No, and I would
or
never
anything.
do it anyway.
No.
But then I tell the coaches, what they can and can't do.
Right. But how do we get the kids to stay? You know what I mean? I mean, that's something, that's hard.
We definitely need to make a better connection between our teams and our youth programs in town, in an appropriate way.
What would be appropriate?
I mean, we could do clinics. We could do have the kids come down and umpire games or stuff like that, just so they see those kids involved with them.
You guys need umpires.
In the past,
he's talking to Jewett City Little League right here.
Yeah, he's on the board.
We could get some volunteer hours for him. I mean, I don't know if they'd be any good, but you get what you get sometimes, right?
Right.
But we invite kids to like basketball games. It's been tough with COVID and all the protocols.
Sure.
To get a lot of that stuff rolling the last couple of years. But in the past, we do have youth nights. We have, just to get them involved.
Well, the basketball program is bigger than ever, isn't it, right now?
Yeah, we added freshmen this year. We hadn't had a freshman team in a long time, but we had about 13 kids come out as freshmen.
You'll have another one next year, I'm assuming.
Yeah, and probably, it's better to keep them than to cut them, because once you cut them, they're probably not going to come back. With a rare few. Kids develop after their freshman year, so you want to get them involved, keep them involved, and try to keep them in the program as much as we can.
I think you have a unique opportunity, especially these days, where all the kids now they're not just playing high school sports; they're playing rec sports. In different places.
The AAU.
Right.
Every season they're doing something. A lot of times, you'll get kids that are, a baseball player will be playing AAU basketball because they start in the spring.
And it may be from Baltic, and he could come to Griswold.
Right, and that's another. Our tuition kids are vital to all of our programs here.
Sure.
Every season, there's about 40 kids from tuition towns that impact our sports teams quite a bit.
And it's there's another town that they're potentially looking at now.
Yes.
That I know. Well, Mr. McKenna mentioned the town today.
Did he?
That they went Franklin. They give a pitch.
I don't know if I could say it.
Yeah.
All right.
So I mean, no, but being aggressive to go to other towns to to offer the programs. I think
if anybody's listening, you're going to get a chance to play here sooner than you probably would at NFA. Nothing against NFA. They're a great school. They great competitors. But I think just in terms of numbers, you're going to get that chance sooner, right away.
What about not NFA, but a lot of kids are attracted to the football program and at Killingly. So what do we tell? Honestly, I've talked to some kids myself, and I can't get into trouble or nothing like that. I'll just say, you're going to get lost in the mix. I mean, it looks all great now, looks all shiny and new, but you get whacked by Soren Reef once, and
I know.
I would say the kid's a beast, man.
He's a man.
He's a good guy. He's a good kid.
Child.
And it certainly would love to have Soren here, but it's he made those decisions.
But I'm talking about the kids that maybe they follow him because they think he's and he's an incredible athlete, but his brother goes here.
Does
Anders comes here, so
it's there's a fine line.
You don't even have to talk about it.
It's difficult because people say they're recruiting. I've heard it too. So.
Okay.
I'm
just talking about like kids.
But I can't approach these kids from the middle school and tell them they need to come here.
Right.
That would be unethical on my part.
Sure.
So.
But what are the opportunities? I mean, what are the possibilities? And like John and I, we'll sit, kind of like have like coffee shop talk, just like, what could happen, like, could the football coaches, come to the youth games, and just kind of not even talk to the kids, but the kids will know they're there. You know what I mean? Right. Taking an interest. Billy Kane, he's going to be all over the place.
No, he's been here almost every day. He's at every basketball game.
Yeah.
So, no, he's definitely excited. We're
Exactly.
glad to have him.
But that is creating a huge buzz for the baseball team, which hasn't been there for a while.
Right, and I'm hoping we have JV baseball this year.
Really?
According to the, I've had some meetings with the kids, and the numbers would allow for it if they all sign up and they all register. So,
I think you're gonna have a really good baseball year. I mean, you got some good freshmen coming in, and I mean with Shawnee Garvin on the hill and Evan Gilgenbach, who can pitch like Greg Maddox, for crying out loud.
Right. Yeah, a lot of. Yeah, he nibbles on the corners and.
And he's got some pop off the bat too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's definitely going to be one of our leaders on the field this year for sure, along with Webster and
That's another pitcher right there.
D'Amico.
Pitcher and corner infielder. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys will probably play more than one position or two positions, wherever they're needed for, whatever the situation is. So.
It's gonna be a really cool year.
Well,
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to baseball and softball.
Absolutely excited for the baseball thing. I think we're going to have a fantastic baseball program here at Griswold High School for like the next 3 years with the talent that we have in these schools already. And if some of those 8th graders decide to come up here, it's just going to grow. And then watching basketball all season here, both the boys and the girls, we have very strong basketball programs. Steve, you talked about it. We have freshman, JV, and varsity this year in the basketball program.
Yeah, and I'd love to start, a freshman girls team too. That would,
Do they have? Are there many schools that have a freshman girls team?
There's a few. I know Stonington does, NFA does. So you'd end up playing NFA 3 times or Stonington 3 times if you could, just to fill the schedule out.
Right.
This year we did 10 JV games or freshman games for the boys.
How did they do?
They did well. Record wise, I don't. I don't really. That's one thing. If I keep track of those numbers, then I really have way too much time. I'm not busy enough. But but no, they did well. The kids are successful. They all, and some of them came up to play JV. So that was, in my eyes, it was
like Matt Barea.
Correct. And Matt, if he can stay healthy, I know he's got a back issue.
He's got a back issue.
He's definitely got some skills. He's got some size.
He popped a 3. We saw him pop a 3 the other day.
So he's a good player.
Yeah.
Got to keep him on the court. That's all.
So what can we look forward to? For as far as Griswold sports are concerned, going forward, and the state of the program.
Yeah, I think
it seems to get healthier. It seems like it's getting healthier and healthier and healthier.
Yeah, and we have some new coaches coming in.
Who else? I mean, we know about Billy Kane.
Kevin Babcock this is his last year. I don't know.
I understood that. Yeah.
So we'll have to fill that position right there.
It's been so long. What's up, bro? It's been so long. How you been? We coached him in fall ball.
All right.
Logan.
Oh, I thought there was going to be like a. He saw it at the post office.
No. It's good to see you, man. See you, Val. Funny kid.
He's a celebrity.
He's a nice kid.
But we're trying to get some new blood in if it's a good fit.
How about Lou Zubek? He was a basketball coach.
He was. I'd love to get him to coach. But
he's a busy man.
Also, Mr. Parkinson, he was the track coach at Stony.
Yeah, he did say that. Yeah.
I told him if he felt like he had the itch to coach again, he'd step right in.
You know where I am.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So, indoor track was kind of a committee.
Yeah.
Coached by committee, including me. Just to make sure they had the opportunities this winter. Outdoor track's going to be interesting. We got some, obviously the triplets are gonna be a big impact. And speaking of the triplets, here comes one.
Here's one of them. Well, one just went the other way, and
yeah.
Well, I've seen some people they come and they're like,
oh, which one? Who's that?
I can't tell them apart.
That's the future right there.
Oh,
that's right, Tate, man. That's the future of it all right there. My God, it's Dave Blanchard. This is the past.
How many games did we play?
Oh my God, we played baseball continuously. In back of Archie Drobiak's. Remember? Wiffle ball.
Oh yeah.
And then one
love wiffle ball.
Time for lunch. We'd go eat. Go back out there and play again.
I remember one time I ate over Dave's house, and his mother, and I just took a ton of potatoes, and you looked at me and said, "How many potatoes can you eat?"
Right. That's a lot of potatoes.
Bye, Dave.
Wait, we got another one.
Oh my goodness.
They're everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's a strain.
My God, there's a strain. There's a merchant. I mean, my God.
I think it's.
What's up?
There's a Minarski.
Well, his grandfather is the Merch. We call him Merch, and Kevin is
Merch.
the Merch.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just think that Griswold has some very exciting sports, probably more exciting than just about anywhere else. I mean, all the talent that is in this small school, I think is unprecedented. I mean, there's some really good kids playing basketball, baseball. I am really excited about the baseball season this year.
Yeah, we got
traveling on the road with them, and
we just got our football schedule for next year. There's some good games on there for us.
Oh, yeah. Is it posted yet, or
not officially?
Okay,
I can show it to you, but you got to keep it a secret.
Oh, I never say anything.
Says the radio guy.
Right. But
no,
some good games on there. We do have we have one Alliance game. That's definitely a winnable game for us.
Okay.
So we've been good with the Alliance. We've won all those games, so we've been lucky.
Is it a Class M school in Rhode Island?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Just checking.
We stay in state.
Stay in state.
So.
All right. Tonight.
Girls,
state tournament girls.
Yeah, first round against Platt Tech.
Platt Tech.
I know Kevin's excited about it. It's a winnable game for us for sure.
And they'd get Bacon after this one.
Yeah, Bacon's tough. So we already know
18 and
whoever
2.
wins goes there. Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah.
But hey, it is what it is. You got to play the game.
Boys, do they get Killingly? Are they getting Killingly in the first round?
I'll know tomorrow morning officially. I try not to look ahead too much. It's just
I was looking at the seeds and how they fall and stuff, and
then they
that's how
include
they would
like
line up.
power points and all that. And I don't know. There may be still a game to be played tonight that may impact it. I don't know. I haven't looked at the records.
Gotcha.
Some conferences don't have tournaments, so they play right through to the last play date.
Oh, that's right. Tonight is
which
the
would be the last play date.
Tonight is the finals at Mohegan Sun between
It is.
for Division I, Division II ECC.
It is. Yeah, we're expecting a big crowd there. Some good matchups. East Lyme, Waterford will.
Yeah, St. Bernard's got eliminated.
Yeah,
that was something.
Yeah,
that was something. I didn't expect that.
Waterford's playing well now. So is East Lyme. So
yeah,
that'll be a good D1 final.
And which is wild because we matched up well with the East Lyme.
Yeah.
There was a game that you weren't there for that one. That was me and Kevin.
We know it's playing. I mean, Wyndham's playing really well.
Mhm.
They're so
they're
fast. They're relentless on defense.
The Manguels, and they're only juniors.
Yeah. So Stonington's got their hands full there. But Stonington's really good too.
Yeah.
Had
We
both
got
plays
Dorian
two good
White,
games.
who's a stud. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So he's a star.
Yeah, and there's a Hinchy.
Cam Hinchy.
Yeah, he can pretty much shoot
From
If
anywhere.
he sees the rim, he's going to throw it up.
Yeah.
But
Hunter for Wyndham too. He can hit from the corner three. He hit 4 of them the other day.
Yeah, no,
He's just plucking them.
That's either going to be a high scoring affair or it's going to be defense is going to. But I think there's going to be some points scored.
I'm calling Wyndham by 16.
Yeah.
Wyndham by 16.
All right. I'll have Mr. Zubek put that on the line. I heard you guys talking.
That's right. Yeah. he's gonna sports line.
He's gonna regret saying sports betting for the rest of his life.
He's getting out of admin. He's gonna run a book. Don't knock it. You never know.
Oh, hey, big market.
For sure.
So the boys play next week, right?
They do. They'll play either Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
I don't think they'll have to do a play-in game.
Right.
Because I did look. There's only 23 teams qualified. And they may lower that and include a few more, so they don't have to do so many play-in games.
Gotcha. So others will get buys.
Yeah, they want to get 32 teams, or at least after the first round, they'll have 16.
If they do that, then they won't have Killingly. Then they'll have somebody
Right.
else.
That's why
You never know.
Yeah, I try not to look too far ahead because it's.
But they're probably going to be on the road.
Yeah, my guess is they're 9-11. So.
Yeah.
But that's a tough 9-11. I think they may surprise somebody with their intensity on defense.
Yeah, they were a dangerous 6 seed in the ECCs. I mean,
yeah,
they hung with Wyndham. I mean, 29-28. I don't know what happened in the second half, but the wheels kind of fell off. But
yeah,
I think Wyndham just wore them down.
Yeah, Wyndham's tough.
Tougher than
really tough.
Tougher than we all think. They were. So let me let you get out of here because I know you have an actual job to do.
Yeah,
I would love to talk sports with you all day, but
I'm sure I got something on my desk waiting.
Thanks, Steve. It's always
Thank
a
you.
pleasure to
Appreciate
talk
it.
to you.
Thank you.
That's it.
Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Well, John, Rich,
Yes, Mike.
what an exciting day here at Griswold High School.
So our day's over?
Yeah, it is. For now. Well, your day may be here, but I mean, mine moves on.
Yeah, no, we're here done at the high school. I mean, really, the high school hosting us, but this was a Griswold Public Schools kind of day.
Yeah. It was more than just. It was more than just the school system. I mean, the high school. The high school was just a part of this.
Right.
We talked to Aaron Polonin at the beginning of this broadcast, and that was really it. As far as the high school piece of Ray Churchill.
Right.
But everything else that we did was pretty much district,
right,
and campus.
You followed up the principal of the high school and Ray with the superintendent and president of the school board.
Yep.
And we've just kind of moved on from there. Found out some new programs. In the high school that I didn't know existed, and I did not know that there was kind of a launch pad. I believe they called it computer lab in the middle
Nexus.
school.
Yeah. Or the launch
so the
pad
Nexus
over there
up here, and then the launch pad.
What about
right
the
there.
esports? Isn't that cool?
Interesting. Yeah, because I'm not a gamer. I'm
right. Neither am I, but
so the fact that that's an opportunity available to students, because I know that is huge and across multiple age demographics.
Yeah.
And that there's scholarship opportunities available there. They can, I believe they called it queuing in. So remotely or from our own lab, and they can play schools across the country in tournaments. I think that's pretty neat.
Probably all over the world.
Right.
Not just the country. So, but it was a very interesting conversation. If you came in late and you didn't get a chance to hear the interviews before the ones with Mr. Cravino, we had probably about 8 or 9 people all together.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of information in these the last 2.5 hours. So if you have kids that are students within the Griswold Public School system, or you have athletes that are budding and blooming into their prospective sport in the middle school arena, you'll get some information about what it would be like to be an athlete at Griswold High School. And also the way that the elementary school, the middle school, and the high school all work in concert, together to have that one, congruent, learning experience K through 12.
Right.
You don't get that, I don't think, anywhere else, because you have a campus here. Everybody is right here.
Well, I think that's one of the key differences between us and a lot of towns is, we can literally walk across the parking lot this way, we're at the elementary school. Walk across the parking lot this way, we're at the middle school. Talking to Mr. Bordeaux, both my sons have been in Griswold Public Schools since preschool, and now one a freshman in high school, the other in 7th. And the relationships that they've built not only with their peers and other students, but with their teachers, principals, administrators, they've grown up with them. And I think that's one thing that if students decide to not come here for whatever reason, you're not going to have those type of relationships built anywhere else. Because a lot of these kids with the feeder towns that we have into our youth sports, to just go back to that for a second,
which you've talked about over and over and over again, how successful the youth sports are in this town.
Some of these ball players, whatever sport they play, they've played together since they were 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
Can't replace that no matter what town you go to.
You can't teach that. You can't teach that at all. So I think I would like to, if I could tell one of the athletes, either boy or girl, don't make a a judgment or a decision based on emotion. Just on like, this is a big area, I can do this or whatever. base it on what you hear. Do your due diligence. Maybe it's not a fit, but maybe if you're thinking about going elsewhere, you may find this to be a better fit than anything else or anywhere else you can go.
Right.
Right.
Agree.
All right, John Hart. We are out of here. We want to thank everybody for joining us here this morning at Griswold High School and Griswold Public Schools. Thanks to Rich Walzant. Rich Wasilick. Rich Walzant's a buddy of mine. But so is Rich Wasilick, too. So I know 2 Rich W's.
Well, you're a lucky person.
I know. Smell that? That's sarcasm.
I'm just waiting for pasta and sauce.
Thanks a lot, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day. It's SNSN.